In the Busy day for the Buffalo Sabres. They announced a couple of hirings earlier this morning, headlined by Milan Lucic being brought in as a pro scout. Then we also had day 2 of development camp, and we'll get more on all of this. Paul Hamilton is going to join the show a little bit later on today at 5:30. We did have a goalie trade today. Florida acquires Jacob Markstrom and forward Angus Crookshank. And to do that, they send New Jersey Evan Rodriguez, Jesper Boquist, and Ben Steeves. Free agency, though, is going to open up tomorrow afternoon at 12 p.m. In the World Cup, more late drama. Norway does take down Ivory Coast 2-1, and it's thanks to Erling Haaland with an 86th minute winner. They're going to take on Brazil in the round of 16. At 5 o'clock, France takes on Sweden, and then at 9, Mexico, they go up against Ecuador. In the NBA, pretty big news today. LeBron James is going to be leaving the Lakers after 8 seasons with the team. James won the NBA championship with the Lakers back in 2020, and he will now enter free agency at the age of 41. Then in baseball, Bisons are in Minnesota versus the Saints. Game time for that one is just after 8 o'clock and can be heard on our sister station, The Bet 1520. While in the big leagues, Yankees take on the Tigers. They host them at 7:05, and then at 7:07, the Mets, they are at Toronto. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp. And the Bulldog. It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
Too soon for trivia? Too early?
I'm always ready.
In the illustrious, always love a chance to use that word, but you can't really force it.
No,
you can't fake it with that word.
You can't, no.
But I'm not doing that here. In the illustrious history of the reverse AFC power rankings,
Appropriate.
how many teams have ever ranked first? Not counting the one time we did it by uniforms.
Okay. I know, let's see. Jacksonville up there one time. Baltimore definitely has been one. Kansas City's been one. The Bills have been one. I'm going to say 5.
10.
Whoa!
I know.
Wow, we really do some work in here.
Well, it's been a long, illustrious history. Right? I mean, you'd have to agree.
Sure, yes.
You would agree.
No, I did not. There was no balking at the use of illustrious.
I have the entire recorded history of the thing right here.
10 teams, a third. Well,
2/3.
2/3. Yeah,
Almost.
sorry, I'm thinking 32 teams. That's
10 out of 16.
And we only started doing this when the Bills and Chiefs were both really good. It doesn't go back. It doesn't predate Josh Allen, his ascendance to being one of the best or the best player in the league.
No one would have listened to it.
Right. No, why? We didn't care about ranking anything.
Nobody cared about anything.
We were just trying to get through football seasons in one piece, mostly.
I will say,
for myself anyways.
I don't see Oakland written on any of them.
Okay.
So it's all post-Oakland.
All right, well, that has to mean...
You named 5.
Who did I leave out? I left out New England. I bet they're on the list.
Yes.
I should have thought a little harder about this.
They are the 3rd most recent number 1 pick.
Did Denver have a turn at 1?
Yes.
At any point? That doesn't seem like us. Why were we was that me? We never thought they were the best team in the AFC, did we? I mean, apparently we did. Yes. So, sorry, dumb question.
New England was number 1 on January 14th. And then the Bills were number 1 on February 10th. And then it's been Jacksonville ever since. Denver got to listen to the papers. I don't even have to. It's not a bit. I'm just actually shuffling papers.
These are the actual papers.
Denver was number 1. I did not mess up the order. I hope. Last year.
Yeah, sure.
At one point.
Yeah.
Just had it.
Um.
Here it is. December 17th.
Okay.
Denver was number 1 on their way to the 1 seed. So they might have just fallen into it.
Yeah, it might have. And then I'm guessing Jacksonville was 1 after that because Jacksonville beat them in Denver.
No. They were never number 1 after that until the offseason.
Really?
Well, no, yes.
No, there was 1 week where Nate Geary and I put
That's
them there
right.
after they beat Denver.
I got it.
And you were
Different
not
page.
here to fend us off. That I remember.
That's the one thing about being off that I hate.
That's why I thought of Jacksonville.
I don't get to straighten the record.
Right.
And Tim Wenger retired today from Odyssey. He's been here for 40 years. And if I am like Tim at all, it will be the thing he misses the most. Not the people. It'll be just not being able to get right through on the hotline or with a hot mic to say the thing that no one else is saying. I mean, he hasn't been hosting for a while, but
no,
that's
right.
what my contract is up literally today. If I don't come in tomorrow,
drama. Listen, feel the drama.
They asked me to go on with Dave Bellavia and Tim for Tim's going away, and they talked for like 10 minutes, and then they went to me. I'm like, this isn't about me. That's not why you asked me on? You're not going to tell me anything? Like, this is it? That's what I'm going to miss the most. Because I feel like I'll still see you and people that I work with and know. But I'm gonna miss not being able to be like, listen, why didn't anybody say that?
Okay, so Houston? Is Houston ever there?
Houston has never been number 1.
Okay. Did the Colts get there last year at all?
Yes.
How did we not see through that?
The Colts were number 1 on November 18th.
We were skeptical about that the entire time.
I know.
You placed a bet.
I wanted
on them
to place
losing out.
I wanted to place a bet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said I wanted to place a bet when they were 8-2 that they would not win another game. They did not win another game. But I didn't know how to do it.
Oh, right.
I didn't know where to find that.
Yeah.
It would have just been like a site where they have every game rest of the year just money line against them. So I didn't do it.
We need one more team?
No, you need a bunch more teams.
No, I just New England was
New England, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Denver, Indianapolis.
No, initially I had 5,
right.
And New England was not among them.
Fine. You
Nor
mentioned
was
Kansas
Indianapolis.
City.
Right.
You mentioned Baltimore.
Right.
That's 7.
Right.
We need 3 more.
3 more.
3 more teams have made it to number 1. 1 is unbelievable to me. But 3 more teams have made it to number 1 in reverse AFC power rankings.
Cincinnati.
Yes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We were afraid of them for a minute.
For sure.
There's 2 more, and they're both great. You have half the conference left. They're both great. I got to find them. I don't have years, though. This is so bad. Who are the curators of this thing?
What was Miami's record after they hung 70 on the Broncos? Like, could
2-1?
Could we have? Could they have been?
It was very early in the season.
Could they have been 1, Miami?
Yes, Miami's right.
Okay.
After that game,
Yeah.
70 points, most yards in a game ever in NFL history.
I just want to say I'm looking at the teams, and I absolutely cannot fathom another one of these teams being in the top spot.
I know.
Is it Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Pittsburgh is the 10th.
This show should have been pulled over.
It was.
Happened.
Miami was whatever year that was. The Bills crushed them the next week.
Right.
But they got back to number 1 on Halloween. I got it right here. They were number 1 3 times in the first half of that season before they fell off a cliff. And Pittsburgh did also make it to 1. Who has never made it to 1? Jets, Raiders.
How did Pittsburgh
Titans.
make it to? Is it one of those days where we forgot? Did we forget about them?
That happens.
Right? Did we get through like the teens or even like 10 and like forget them because they were so low in like I didn't see them because they were down there and I would start focusing on the teams up top and then suddenly I'm left with Pittsburgh?
Here it is.
There'd be a notation of some kind if it was like completely a mistake by us.
February 6th. There's a possibility that this was like uniforms or something.
Wait,
I got it right
February?
here.
In February
Right here.
they were 1?
Yeah. Vegas was 5, though. That might have. It's got asterisks on it. I don't know what that was. Let's not take that too seriously.
Yeah, okay.
Pittsburgh
Yeah,
was.
that's an abomination.
Pittsburgh has not been
That's what that is.
really deserving of number 1 since,
Roethlisberger's prime.
if that.
Okay, but like that. Once he started declining, they are the same team that they have been since he started declining.
But wasn't every year Pittsburgh made it, we all kind of went New England was better? Or Indianapolis? The one year Pittsburgh wins, Indianapolis fumbles on the goal line.
Right.
Or, yeah, right, and Roethlisberger makes the tackle. Pittsburgh fumbles on the goal line, and Roethlisberger makes the tackle. The guy's going.
Yeah.
Like, just, they were never.
No.
Am I remembering that
No,
differently than you?
but still, whatever. They they were a threat, and like that team. Once Roethlisberger deteriorated, there's no way they're winning any of those games. Like they were unequal. I think enough with them that I could sell them as number 1. Anytime since we've started the reverse AFC power rankings, there is no way that legitimately we would have thought that they were one. There had to be uniforms or some stadiums or something. Right. I don't know what the heck that could have been.
Burgers with fries on them.
Right, I don't know.
Rankings.
Right. Sandwiches with coleslaw and french fries on them. Who does that best?
Pittsburgh, actually, since post-Ben, their quarterback carousel is very Browns. Like, if you think about Bills-Steelers games, the last 5, who were the Steelers quarterbacks in those games? I mean, Rodgers. Warren Sharp brought up, he had so many good points yesterday about last year's Bills season, and he brought up how they were a negative point differential first-half team for the year. And he's like, they only had this many really double-digit wins, and one of them is the Steeler game, and Warren tends to talk at length when he's answering a question. And I was waiting to say it, but he moved into 3 or 4 different other areas by the time he was done. They were down at halftime in Pittsburgh.
They didn't take the lead until like one of the first plays of the third quarter. Right. Yeah.
There was a Benford return on a fumble, but they were down 7-3 at halftime in Pittsburgh, and I think they won 26-7. But if you go, who starts the playoff game?
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Right. Hodges started a game there and got replaced by Rudolph, I think, eventually. So like, that's happened. Rodgers last year.
Rodgers is last year.
Boy, who else? Did Trubisky ever start against them for them?
Maybe.
Yeah. No, but it's
bumpy.
It's been bad. Yeah, it's been really, really mediocre is what it's been.
Well, do you want to rip off a new list? Will there be a new team
we're
at the bottom?
We're there. I mean, we walked right up to it.
It is Tuesday. Reverse AFC Power Rankings brought to you by Empire Electric, powered even by Empire Electric, your local neighborhood electricians. EmpireElectricians.com.
I have not thought about this at all in many, many weeks.
They're hiring, by the way.
Empire Electric,
yes.
Right? Not the reverse AFC Power
Well,
rankings.
it's my last day, so
I don't think we really have a. Well, okay, well, sure. Get your application in. Send it to my LinkedIn.
Send it to his beeper. 16. Get out your standings as a guide. Dolphins.
Yeah. I think Dolphins are the pick. Yeah.
15. Jets.
Okay. I was going to say Browns. I think I like the Jets a little better than the Browns. You know, they traded Myles Garrett.
Yeah, but what was that getting them? Okay. Did they have Myles Garrett? The Browns? You're telling me they did?
I'll go the Browns here.
The Jets are, if Geno's all right, even the skill guys are pretty good there. I think I'm saying this.
This
is how Pittsburgh ends up being number 1. By the way.
Yeah.
Sort of what I'm doing with the Jets right now.
I think the Browns will be better than the Steelers, and I think the Jets will be better than the Giants. But that's not a big position, really, is it?
No, I don't think. No.
But that's what I think.
Okay.
More tonight on ADP chasing.
The Browns being better than who? Pittsburgh, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a development.
Because that's never happened.
Yeah. That probably requires them to be 500 or, whatever. Close.
Yep. 14, Jets.
Sure, no problem. Yep.
13.
I think I got to say Tennessee, even though I love Cam Ward.
You love Cam Ward.
And you now own him in some fantasy league.
Yes. I'm sure it's more than one, but yes, I drafted him yesterday. Cam Ward. People are wondering what happened. I will say Pittsburgh. Why not be true to it?
So the tiebreaker here is Pittsburgh v. Tennessee.
I'll go Pittsburgh.
All right. Love it.
By law, anyone who's going to be doing this job in Mike's stead tomorrow should know, by law, I have to stay on Tennessee now.
Well, I wonder if you'll be doing another. Maybe that's a good way to start. The new era is have reverse AFC.
I mean, what better way to get to know a new coworker?
Right.
Just run it back.
12.
You guys are okay with Tennessee there, then?
I think that's probably appropriate.
Oh, okay.
11.
Raiders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they should be mentioned here.
10. Colts.
Yes. This
9.
This is easy so far. 9. 9.
9 is tough.
9 is tough. Pittsburgh's already off the board.
Yes.
The gimmies are all gone.
Yeah. I'm not sure who to say right now.
Chiefs.
I think that's bananas. I love it. Let's go with it. Chiefs.
I mean, who is their second best player on offense? The running back?
The center's good.
The center? There it is. Asked and answered. Travis Kelce. 8. Their best player might not even be healthy.
8. I'm going to say Houston.
Ooh.
I was wondering about Houston. That defense, though,
I know.
is so good.
Cincinnati.
See,
like the exact opposite. That offense is so good.
I feel like Cincinnati is going to be really scary this year. I like Cincinnati much more than Houston.
Really?
Yes. I have it in for Houston.
I think that's a bet.
Well, we'll see.
I think that's a bet if you want it. Bet who has the better season. Are they ever going to erase anything that they put up there in the morning? Will Caleb Williams be benched last year? Can we just settle these things?
What did we get rid of up there? Is that the John Clayton bet?
John Clayton. No.
What was on
that's
there's some smudgy
rest in peace
stuff up there. I don't know.
That's Tannehill.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I knew there was something.
The John Clayton dinner bet from 2013,
right?
I believe, has been erased.
Yeah.
And that was never paid off.
Right.
In fairness, to the record.
Yeah.
But can we just get these guys to ever look at it and do anything? I mean, Terry Pagula refers to Sean McDermott as the best coach in the NFL. Do you think that's going to happen now?
Probably
Maybe
not.
pay that off and be done. Erase it.
There's another McDermott bet right below that.
That's right.
Also, the 2026 home opener bet.
Half the board is done. I'm hanging on with dear life for the Belichick one.
Yeah, that's right.
Our Cincinnati versus Houston.
All right. Anyway, I think I'm I don't know. You going to continue working here? I don't want to have to find you.
I need to see how the day goes.
Okay. Yeah, we could.
So far, it's not great.
But
so far, it's been a little rough.
Now I feel self-conscious. Hesitant.
I'm sweating profusely in here right now, and that's not because I'm worried about it. I'm just hot.
It is
one of those days.
Well,
again.
it's
hot out.
It is hot out.
Anyway,
I say Houston. You say Cincinnati.
Right.
Zach
I'm
Jones
Houston.
says Houston.
All right. I would bet a quarter on Houston to have the better record
Okay.
this year.
Yep.
We have a little bit of space.
You do. Yeah. You write that up there. You have neither
I'll write it.
Neither right.
I'll write it when I
We
get a
signed
chance.
these cards for our boss. You mentioned Tim Wenger after all these years.
Yeah.
I showed up as an intern, by the way, in like the summer of 1994 at WBEN, and Tim Wenger was working in the newsroom. Like, it's just my whole professional life. He has been in the building I was working in.
Yeah. He hired me.
But we signed these cards. You signed before me, and your handwriting is it's impeccable. You have very good handwriting, very nice looking handwriting. It's legible. I'd even say distinctive.
You know what it is?
It's a craft.
It's
what
pretty.
It is. Yeah, okay.
My handwriting is pretty.
I will give you that. Mine is not that. None of those things is mine. And I felt intimidated. I wish I had signed before you. Wow. Because I just felt like,
sorry to hear that.
Look at me here. I don't even. And plus, like, I have this because I got this nickname on the radio. Like, I don't know what to write there. Like, if someone comes up to me at a remote and wants me to sign something, I'm writing Bulldog. This guy's been, like, in one way, shape, or form, my boss for 40 years or 30 years. I don't want to write Bulldog in there, so I wrote my initials.
Yeah, fine.
So
He'll know.
Yeah, I hope so. I think maybe he'll add up the crappy handwriting and the initials and figure it out. Like, that's probably Chris. Anyway, where were we?
I doubt it. 7, Cincinnati.
I'm going to go Chargers.
I will ride with Zach Jones on the Chargers.
Okay.
I have a drafting partner here in the NASCAR race on the backstretch at Talladega, and I am using it to pump Cincinnati up.
Talladega. Forgot that was a place. 6.
Yeah, I know what you want. All right, yeah, I'll go Cincinnati here.
5, New England.
I'm not sure I want to put them above or below. Above. What do we
Above.
do? Above the Bills.
Okay.
I'm going with New England here.
New England.
I
It
guess
is
I'm,
written.
I guess I'm out.
4.
I guess I'm kind of on Buffalo.
Buffalo, Denver, Jacksonville, Baltimore are the last 4. 1 per division.
All right, then I really never. I didn't officially say Buffalo there. I said I would put. I think Buffalo's better than Denver, so I want to put Denver here.
Oof. I will not endorse that. Bills.
I got what I wanted. You see what I did there? I'm just kidding. What I wanted is them below New England, or above. So
Above.
I work here. You should quit.
I'll go Denver here.
Wow. What does Denver have to do? 3. Bills. Come on, suddenly you're now the guy, like you're go Bills guy. After all the times you talked about how you're worried about this year.
I wanted the Bills above. I wanted the Bills at 5, and we didn't. And then I just said Denver. Kind of kidding. Whatever.
Bills at 3.
Bills at 3. Fine. Yeah. We can do this again next week.
We can do it in
If
10 minutes.
If you're here. Although
2.
You're not. You've got vacations.
Houston or rather Jacksonville or Baltimore. Come on, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Jacksonville wins again.
All right.
They've done more winning in this room than anywhere else in their history.
That's, I think, undeniably true. Yes.
Jacksonville continues wild card losers in 2025.
What a run of dominance. in
All
the
that
reverse
history.
AFC power
They
rankings.
continue to win our reverse AFC power rankings, which are sponsored and powered even by Empire Electric, your local neighborhood electricians. Is there more speculation about Connor Hellebuck being a Sabre? I think there is. We will look into it and talk about it. 803-0550. Let's go see what the latest news is. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Thanks for listening. Today, we have Sal, Paul, and Greg Bal. Can we still get Pete?
Pete?
Pete Cargis? Can we get
Oh,
Pete?
Pete. Oh, sure.
Can we get
Yeah.
Pete? Can we get... I mean, we're loading up on it's Friends and Family Tuesday here on the show, isn't it? Sal, Paul, Greg.
Chad Dienemenesis 2 minutes ago tweeted, I'd advise Sabres fans to go back about their days and stop refreshing.
Well, that's probably good news for you.
Just thought I'd mention that here.
We'll see what that means. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, thanks for listening. This is WGR.
For more comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Garflow, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
Give Belknap a ring.
I think Hellebuck has been more flexible than some of these other teams. Like, for example, if they would have had a deal with Buffalo on Friday, and I think they're still talking about it, he would go. I don't know too many other people who are saying they'd go to Buffalo right now, but I've been told that Hellebuck would waive for them if they can get a deal done.
What is that? I don't know how many people would go to Buffalo right now. What does right now have to do with it? Right now is a great time.
Yeah, it was an odd, yeah.
Right now is when you would go.
Yeah.
Say that any other time the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you mean right now? Probably didn't really mean anything by it. Just said it.
Probably not.
Happens to
but,
me.
Yeah.
But
Trying to accentuate how cool it maybe is that Hellebuck's agreeing to come here, supposedly. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that stung a little.
Right now.
Yeah.
If there is Elliot Friedman, if there is anything to that, that's not good.
Right.
Like if now would be a bad time to waive your no trade clause and accept a deal to Buffalo, then we're in bad shape. Because I don't know why you would not right now think it's exciting. Yeah, I would rather go there when they're terrible. But now they're good. It doesn't really seem like it's for me. I mean, just that would not be good. It probably means nothing.
Probably not. The what we were reacting to as we went to the break, I mean, I mentioned the Chad DeDominicis from Expected Buffalo tweet telling Sabres fans to go back about their day. About an hour or so ago, maybe a little earlier than that, Kevin Weeks tweeted just a picture, an action shot of Hellebuck and the googly eyes. And, Weeks does that. He, intentionally takes bad photos of his forehead with different things he's doing. I don't know. He's got a whole bit he's working on social media, I guess.
How's it going?
Whatever. I'm paying attention. I follow him. So, I mean, to that extent, I guess it's worked. And so, is there something happening here with Hellebuck, imminent? And Chad's tweet, I think, is in response to that. Like what he's hearing from maybe inside is, go about your day.
Well, maybe it's another team.
Could be another team. That's right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. What Chad is telling you is like he's not hearing the Sabres are in.
What are you hoping for?
I feel like I'm at this point. This is what happens in free agency and the NHL offseason is you end up really wanting things you thought you didn't want. I don't know if anybody else experiences this. Maybe people are, and I would say this as a compliment, if you're maybe, more dug in about something as unimportant as a hockey opinion. Like it's good to be flexible and learn things and get more data and change your opinion about things that really matter in our society. Who's on your hockey team is not really high up on that list. But so you can dig in on it and be, immovable if you want. I don't want to spend anything on a goalie. Our goalies are fine. Me, I kind of felt that way a month ago, and now we're here, and the thing we're hearing the most is that they're still trying to do that, and so now, well, they must really want to do it. I want them to get it done if they really want to do it. Becomes sort of my position, which, sort of ignores everything else.
Well, you didn't. And I don't consider myself different in this one instance, but Trocheck the other day, you want action, but you don't want just any action.
Right.
So, please let this not be real.
I'd like them to do something that I think has a chance of improving their team. And as much as a goalie is not my favorite idea, I think it's entirely reasonable to look at acquiring Connor Hellebuck as an effort to improve your team. And that's what we're all kind of waiting on because we're giving them a lot of credit, rightly so, for the haul they got in the Byram trade. But I don't think anything about anything they've done so far has made them better yet. So that's what I'm waiting on. And believe me, if I was hearing Matthew Nyes with the googly eyes from Kevin Weeks, that would make me happier than Connor Hellebuck. I would prefer moving assets for that player than for the goalie.
Can we stop with the eyes out there? Just say it. If you got it, just say it. If you don't talk. If you got it, what you got? Anything? Say it. No? stand down. What is the how did that tweet? How does that have any value? How do you make a living on that? I'm just going to tweet. There's a player in the league who there's constant speculation about us being traded. You know what I'm going to do? Put a picture of him on my Twitter with googly eyes. Wow, what did I do? People want you to know something. They assume that you know something. Maybe he does. Let's hear it. I'm always talking about how the if you will, the real insiders, I mean, the top names will tell you that they're hearing about a trade, and then in 10 minutes it happens. When Elliot Friedman says, I'm hearing so-and-so could go to Florida, in 10 minutes he goes to Florida.
Right, that happened with Markstrom earlier today.
Sure. And that's not even really saying it either. That's closer.
Right.
But don't give me a picture and googly eyes. Then what are you doing? Then you're like Diggs.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Then you're a player who's just teasing me to get a rise out of people uselessly.
It's pretty Diggsy. Yeah, it is.
Tell me or don't. Do you have it? If you're gonna be in the media and purport to be somebody in the know, don't fool around with it. Don't abuse the privilege. Say it. Or just wait. Do you get credit for being first? Not that anybody cares anyway in the real world. You get credit for being first if you put a picture of Connor Hellebuck and googly eyes and then
definitely
3 hours later he's traded. Like, told you.
No.
I mean, that doesn't count.
No. Where he lives in that space is I'm hearing something. I don't know that he ever breaks a trade, but he is first on, hearing things. But, what did that get us when Matthew Tkachuk got traded from Calgary to Florida? Like, I think 24 hours before that, there was weeks with Matthew Tkachuk to the Sabres. I had an 8 or 10 hour joyride emotionally considering that prospect as being real. And then, he got traded to Florida. I'm trusting that Hellebuck is not going to get traded to Florida because they made a goaltender trade, actually 2 of them, over the last couple of days. So I think they're probably all set in goal. Maybe New Jersey is going to trade for Connor Hellebuck because they just traded away their starter in Markstrom to Florida. So that opened up a chair for them. They've got 2 of the Hughes brothers on their team. I don't know. maybe that's an appealing landing spot.
I think it would be. Actually,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm different on this every day, which I don't know. Should I apologize for that? In terms of Hellebuck, I don't think I want it.
Good.
The premise.
Good for you for taking a stand.
The premise on I don't need a trade. I also want to not get to game 1 and have us all be talking about like Paul with how they've regressed since last season. I'd rather not end up there. That's not just goaltending. That's just in general, Tuck and Byram. But the point, I've made this point a lot. When it came to Tuck, if I've got one of the top GMs, he is going to find me a better Tuck, maybe not better like immediately, but a better idea or close to the same level of idea, because you lose guys. Like, that can't be avoided. So I want to trust that and not just pay him a contract that I think I'd regret, maybe pretty soon. And I think the Hellebuck premise is largely the same, that the contract isn't the problem. The contract is fine. But what I'm going to lose 2 of my gems probably to do it. And I want to see this team come back with mostly the same roster. And if I'm doing that, then I might be sacrificing that, too much for my my palate. So I would not deny, like I've said also, why I feel like I'm vacillating is I would not deny that it would be super exciting. Like, you would get a ton of credit for doing it. Like, oh, you're, bold moves, and the Sabres are like never before making a trade like that. I mean, the Sabres, have they really ever made a trade like this would be, where they're trading for the goalie who's been the best in the league for 10 years. I mean, the best goalie of all time was a Sabre. They got him as a throwaway. Like, it wasn't that they just sold the farm.
Trading for Grant Fuhr is probably the closest you could argue that they got.
Yeah, and they probably shouldn't have done it. They probably shouldn't have done it. They didn't need him. But, they've maybe almost never done this.
Yeah.
And if they do it, it would be shockwaves, and I would enjoy that. I would enjoy the next 3 months sitting here looking forward to the season,
right,
knowing that he's their goalie, and I would miss Helenius only so much in that time. But I think probably as it gets going, I would be like, well, I knew it was probably something. It was probably a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I would expect that I would lean on that side of it, where just
right. And then if they don't win, right. I mean, if it doesn't work, you don't go farther, you don't get to the whatever, you don't win a trophy, then why'd I do that? I could have still had the kid. I don't know. I need something here in the next few days. I mean, tomorrow free agency opens,
right,
and then it I know it's not literally like this, but we say this every year, and now we're all sort of on alert because the Sabres had a great season, so all of this matters again in a way that it hasn't in a long time. It just feels like there's this 4 or 5 day window here to do something, and even though July 6th is just this coming Monday, it feels like it's all over. Like everyone goes to cottages, and we'll see you in September for camp. Is what happens to the NHL. And so I'm not hearing anything about the Sabres connected to Dylan Larkin or Matthew Nyes or Jason Robertson anymore. The 4th pick is gone. So I'm hearing about Hellebuck. All right, if that's what you're trying to do, go do it. Pull something into the boat here. It was always my third choice. And they have replaced Byram, I think, anyway. I don't know if they've actually come out and said that, but I think the trade they made Friday for the Anaheim kid is a fine idea for a Byram replacement. So we're really do I want to do something in goal, or do I want to directly somewhat replace Alex Tuck? And I say it that way because, that could be 2 people, perhaps. Maybe you don't get everything all in one that Tuck was for you. That's why I like the Knives idea so much, because to me that is a plug-and-play, 7 years younger, more affordable contract, comparable scoring potential anyway, and a penalty killer. Like that, he checks all the boxes to me. Big body, all of it, but there's no juice there. There's no eyeball emojis. There's nothing. There's not Elliot Friedman saying, well, they couldn't get across the finish line before the draft, but I'm hearing they're reconnecting on Matthew Nyes. Like, no, that's not out there. So I'm sort of focused on Hellebuck, and it's become my priority because I think it feels like the only thing I might get. Other than, to me, your name here in free agency. I don't love anything that's out there really enough to go to get excited about it if they were to pull it off. So, we had a call like last week one day, Boone Jenner. What? That doesn't really do anything for me. And there's plenty of guys like that out there. So I don't know. Maybe they end up doing some of that once July 1 comes. But I don't know. I wonder if they have it in them to get finally, once and for all, frustrated with the Hellebuck situation and pivot to like Bobrovsky in free agency or something and try to sell him on that.
He's going somewhere.
He's not going back to Florida. They made their move today.
I want to see Helenius win the Calder as a Sabre. That's what I want. That's more important to me than, the Stanley Cup. A guy I don't know that's half my age or more than half my age, less than half my age, win the Calder Trophy. 14-1, by the way. Odds are out. He's the 7th choice. McKenna is 2nd, not 1st. Porter Martone is the betting favorite at BetOnline to win the Calder. Hudson is going to be a rookie. Cole Hudson.
Oh, yeah, Lane's, the brother. Yeah.
Frondell. Anton Frondell. Stenberg. But Helenius is up there on the list. 7th choice, 14-1.
Where's the other Hudson? Washington? I think he's in Washington.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's where he landed. Doesn't have it there with the
Ashland,
odds.
Massachusetts.
Just have the names. There's no
teams. No,
okay.
That's the tough thing.
You got to know who these guys are.
Viggo Bjork is 60-1. That's Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, I'm aware of that. Yes.
Chase Reed 80-1. Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Sal Capaccio coming up at 4. Paul Hamilton, Greg Bal, author Greg Bal, as we get through the day. Thanks for listening. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
side makes me feel dirty.
Okay, I would hate to think that they would eliminate any prospects for any position based on that when they were competing against the Sabres, they were rude to us. So to me, it would not be the least bit relevant. He's a scout. You're never going to see him. You're never going to see a ring. You're never going to see his face unless you look hard, right? Do I have to care about this?
You don't have to. I'm trying not to, but I'm stuck on, aren't there 15,000 former players that didn't annihilate Ryan Miller in 2011 that you could have hired? I mean,
Sure.
Got to be him. Like, to see what secret sauce is he bringing to the table that you have to ask the fan base to pretend. Like, it's not even so much that it matters. It doesn't matter at all to his job performance, but it's just making us remember what he did to Miller, how Miller felt about it, and how the team didn't react, and it's a sore spot, and it just kind of sucks. In a sidecar is Jarkko Ruutu, who bit Andrew Peters in a game. He also got a job with the Sabres.
All right, let me think more about it.
I mean,
let me think more about it.
What are we doing?
Who cares? I say. Sal next.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole. it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster. Oh, roller coaster.
It's been a busy day for the Buffalo Sabres. They started off by announcing a couple of hires that are headlined by Milan Lucic, former Boston Bruin, being brought in as a pro scout. And then we've also got day 2 of development camp. We'll get more on all of this. Paul Hamilton going to join the show in just a little bit at 5:30. But staying with the NHL, we did have a goalie trade today as Florida acquires Jacob Markstrom and forward Angus Cruikshank. And to do so, they send New Jersey Evan Rodriguez, Jesper Boquist, and Ben Steeves. The next part of the offseason for the NHL will begin tomorrow at noon as free agency will open up. To the World Cup, more late drama, though not as late as we've been used to in the first 4 games of the World Cup knockout rounds. As Game 5, Norway takes down Ivory Coast 2-1. Erling Haaland wins it with an 86th minute winner. They're going to take on Brazil in the round of 16. Coming up in about an hour at 5, France is going to go up against Sweden, and then at 9, Mexico, they go up against Ecuador. To the NBA, Sham Charania of ESPN is reporting that Toronto is acquiring Kawhi Leonard. And to do so, and while all of this is not official yet, it appears they're going to be sending the Clippers Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-rounders to get that deal over the line. And then LeBron James appears to be leaving the Lakers after 8 seasons with the team. James did win the NBA championship with the Lakers back in 2020 and will now be entering free agency at the age of 41. Then in baseball, Bisons are in Minnesota versus the Saints. Game time for that one just after 8 o'clock, and it can be heard over on our sister station, the Bet 1520. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Welcome back. Well, if I may do so, Bulldog stepped up a short while ago and said, you know what? I heard you. I've got questions for Sal. What do you have? Do you have a list? Do you have a spreadsheet? Do you have 300 questions on your spreadsheet? What do you have here?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I said we were having Sal on, and it just hit me that I wasn't really prepared with questions for Sal today.
I don't remember.
And then you said, I got questions. You forgot your questions already?
I don't remember any of this.
Poor
Are you
Sal.
sure that this happened?
Yes.
I'm gaslighting you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I didn't no, it was like lead the conversation stuff, but I've been wanting to talk to Sal.
That I would say for myself.
I know we've covered this before, which we both say often enough when we're talking to Sal. I want to get a feel for him. I mean, we're in this soft period here. How likely he thinks it is that at some point, maybe when training camp begins, maybe 2 weeks into training camp, that Brandon Cooks is back in a Bills uniform.
Okay.
That was what I was thinking about today when I knew we were going to talk to Sal.
Sal, first question. Brandon Cooks.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's just funny that I just did a fantasy football podcast yesterday with somebody out in Winnipeg, actually, I believe it is.
Wait a minute.
And I said this very thing unprompted. I'm like, look, if you're looking for a guy maybe that's not even on the roster, it could be Brandon Cooks. And I still think that it's possible, but I don't want to, it's not anything that I think is imminent or something I've been told. It just makes sense that here's a guy that was on the team who I think had a good rapport with Josh Allen, had a couple of tough calls early when he was tough plays, I should say, early on. And then, of course, we know the Denver game. But I thought he had a good rapport with Josh. He really brought to the table, I think, the things the Bills were missing. Good route running, ability to get downfield, all those little things. And he's a veteran who's still out there and unsigned. So if things go awry with Keon Coleman, Skylar Bell, Joshua Palmer, name your guy beyond the top two, Moore and Shakir, I think that's a phone call that you make, and to see, and to be, let's draw the breadcrumbs here. Pete Carmichael overlapped with Brandon Cooks in New Orleans. He's familiar with him.
And I feel like Cooks has been pretty consistent. It's not like he's, everywhere all the time. I mean, he's Brandon Cooks, but I know I've seen him mention that he really enjoyed it here and enjoyed working with Allen. So, he certainly seems open to it. That I think, not having to go through all the stuff that's already happened and maybe even not having to go through all or any of training camp might be appealing to a guy like that at this stage of his career. So, yeah, I feel like the last time this came up, we were focused on Palmer. If they get into camp and it's, on the side with trainers, a day on, there's another thing. If it starts to become it looks like it's trending toward what last year was, which is a year that was largely lost to injuries for Josh Palmer, then maybe they would move and say, you know what, we're a better team if we have Brandon Cooks and Josh Palmer's spot.
Yeah, I could see it happening. You would save money on Palmer. You'd have to sign Cooks, obviously. That would eat up some of that. Any time you sign a guy, you got to make sure you have that money as well. And he's a veteran, so he's going to cost a little more, even on a minimum salary, if that were the case. You eat a lot of money on Palmer. It doesn't have to be. Palmer could be anything. They just don't like the way the room is. It could be an injury to somebody, right? And you need a guy. And, right now the guys at the bottom end are, Mecole Hardman. And look, I just wrote about, and we could talk about this at the website, the specialists. I think the specialists are really interesting this year. It's my State of the Bills, the last one I did. And one thing I brought up is, does Mecole Hardman have a pathway to make this team as a returner? And if he does, that probably lessens really kind of you thinking you need to go get a receiver, because if you're in a spot where you need a guy, you already have one on your roster who's not returning punts for you, and he can get down the field. So there's a lot of things that can happen to either make this kind of go where, okay, let's give him a phone call, or even, we're not really going to need that.
33 in September, Cooks. He's been around. He's been traded a few times. Is up there maybe at or near the top of the list of players in history. You would know this, I think, Sal. Times traded. Was it Eric Dickerson maybe, or someone like Cooks has been moved around a little bit, but still on the market. I'll bring it up tonight, Bulldog, in deference to you and Sal. I'll bring up Cooks tonight as a late round fantasy. You're doing fantasy podcasts in Winnipeg, by the way?
I believe so. I'll get you the guy's name. It was Josh, but I want to get his full name and what he does. But I've been on with him before, and he reached out to me last week. I think it's Winnipeg. Are they Central Time? I got to see where he is again.
Yes.
They are. Joshua Frey Sam is his name. Okay. And he did a podcast. It's called, here it is, sports journalist for the Winnipeg News. And it's called the Back Bacon Brief is what it's called, basically. I don't know. That might be what his fantasy. But anyway, no, it was really good. It was a really good conversation we had. And he reached out, and I've been on his pod before. And he said, I just really have fantasy questions for you. And I said, okay. And that was one thing we talked about was Brandon Cooks.
Well, he's a man after my own heart, even if I think Winnipeg News sounds made up. But yes. I mean, Sal, we've talked about Bill Barnwell's article, wide receivers. We've talked to Warren Sharp yesterday, and he had this incredible stat going back literally, decades, on Shakir and his
air yards,
depth per target.
A team's leading receiver, and it's historically low what Shakir did last year.
Just another illustration of the frustration that fans and that we have talked about so many times with the Bills. I mean, DJ Moore is the big difference this year on paper going into this season. I know you're pretty optimistic for him, and so was Warren, by the way. He said that he had literally had bet on Moore over his 799 and a half receiving yards for this year. So we're still getting a lot of the same, angst about the group, but Moore gives fans and, analysts, as it happens, hope that things will be, that at least they'll look different.
I really believe DJ Moore is going to be a really good fit for this offense. Just after watching OTAs and minicamp and listening to people talk about him, it feels like it's not just about, they didn't go out and get, we know A.J. Brown is an elite receiver, right? It's just, yes, DJ Moore, there's some debate about, how good he truly is. He hasn't been with these great quarterbacks. He's put up some good numbers. You put A.J. Brown in your team, yeah, we got a guy. It's A.J. Brown. He's great.
Right.
That's not DJ Moore necessarily. DJ Moore can be really, really great, though. Good, great, whatever adjective you want to use, and be in the right fit. And I think this is a right fit for him. How they want to use him, how I believe he fits into this offense for the skill set that they've been lacking, and just listening to people talk about him. When he showed up, the team, guys, players oh yeah, I didn't realize this guy was such a great athlete. I didn't realize this guy had such body control. He was such a great route runner. I think I've really kind of jumped from, okay, I think this could work, to, I'm pretty confident this is going to work now. And maybe I'm being a little too bullish, but that's where it got me.
What were the early returns on he and Allen working together, Sal? Either your observations or what either guy or the coaches have had to say about Moore. I'm just wondering if there's anything work in progress, bumpy, or was it all pretty smooth?
Seemed pretty smooth. And in fact, it reminded me a lot of when Stefon Diggs first joined the club, where it seemed like these two guys kind of got on the same page really early. Now, remember, that year was a COVID year, so there were workouts down in Florida, I think. There was something going on where these guys got together. Not the case here, but, DJ Moore came right in and seemed like they were right on the same page right away. And they have kind of the same thought process, I guess you'd say, of how things should look on offense, where he should be, what he should do. When you're talking about, choice routes, things like that, where the leverage is from a certain DB that you have to read where you're supposed to go. And then even Josh talking about putting ball in certain spots and knowing now, he has such great body control that I think Josh made a comment about putting a ball in a certain spot and DJ's going to go up and get it. And I know that I can kind of put it there and he's going to make that catch, right? You don't have to put it right on him necessarily because he's got that ability. So I think they've already worked through a lot of that. It seems like they're right away. And I'll say this, guys, I was the MC for the Greg Rousseau softball game out in Rochester. And you never know, it's who's going to show up, who's not. And a lot of these guys, they sign up, and most guys do show up, and some guys don't. But I saw DJ Moore's coming. Wow, okay, DJ Moore's on the list. This is an hour and a half drive almost out to Rochester. Not like it's down here at Salem Field. And he was the first Buffalo Bill to show up that day. And he was there, and he was ready to go. It just said a lot to me that he got there. He was ready to rock and roll. He's in the locker room with his teammates. I kind of saw the little bit of the inside there of that with, okay, here's a guy just been in Buffalo for a couple of months, really. He drove out to Rochester, first guy there, and he's ready to rock and roll. And that was really interesting to me.
I think it's interesting to think about, to that commentary, what DJ Moore might think he has to prove as a player in the league. Mm-hmm. He's always been considered a top talent. Not A-list, but, people like DJ Moore as a wide receiver in the NFL. But I've been distracted about him by different things over the years. And as I've said to both of you, one of them is I've heard enough about how he doesn't have a good quarterback. And I know that that's a real thing, but he's had to listen to whatever that means to him, I could be better or should be more productive if only I had a top quarterback. Then he gets Caleb Williams and he's kind of phased out. Not all the way to the end, but really his numbers came down last year for Chicago. So, you have a Bills team, Sal, that has its own agenda and its own stuff to prove, like they can actually win it after all these years of coming close. And I think Moore individually is a version of that.
Yeah, he's got an opportunity to actually raise his hand and say, "Look, I actually am this good."
Yeah.
He's not going to, ascend to the, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson level, but still, like, he could prove to unquestionably be, because I think there's even, when he's acquired, it's like, is he really a number one? Is like something, he's the number one on this team. That's not a compliment, because it's
not much, is it?
Right. So maybe he's got a chance here, I guess, is what Mike is laying out here. And guys can take that different ways, but maybe this will be something that pushes him to even reach higher heights than he's ever reached, I guess, optimistically.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the bar isn't high to clear, no offense to Khalil Shakir, to be the number one on the Buffalo Bills, right? Because Khalil Shakir is your number one, but he generally wouldn't be on most teams. He jumps in right away, and this is the conversation I had with the podcast yesterday I was on, which is he's going to jump in right away. The question was given to me about targets. Like, would we see what we saw with Stephon Diggs? I said, I don't think you're going to see 150-plus targets. Like, that would surprise me. But he should lead the team. He should lead at least receivers. I mean, Dalton Kincaid is going to have something to say about that, right? But, I think he'll be well over, into the hundreds, in the triple digits, 110, 120, something like that. He'll lead the team. I don't think you're looking at him just taking up so much of the space of we have to get him the ball, because that's just not the Bills' philosophy. You know who he reminds me of, Mike, when you say, well, we have been told about not having a quarterback, but even though it's true, I don't really want to hear it. Brian Daboll. When Brian Daboll came to Buffalo, that's exactly what the talk was of him as an offensive coordinator. And if you look back, he didn't. He was in Cleveland. He was in Miami. And he had Kansas City pre-Mahomes. There was nothing. And then, of course, he comes to Buffalo, and, Josh is a rookie his first year, and Josh doesn't play the full year. But, it was true. And people would tell me, well, look at his quarterbacks. He hasn't had anybody. Let's see what he can do. And sure enough, he comes to Buffalo. He gets Josh Allen. So there's a cause and effect. There's a chicken and egg argument. There's no doubt about that. But it reminds me exactly of that same conversation.
The one with Daboll that I remember talking about was, all right, here is this guy, local ties, right? Local roots, and everything you said. But he was also an assistant in New England with Brady. And all right, so what do we do with that? You want to do something with that? I'm not sure I want to do anything with that. And he was Alabama also. He's been a lot of places. That conversation, that debate is still ongoing with him. I mean, the Giant thing.
That's right.
They made the playoffs, and he was coach of the year, but that was pretty flimsy. And now he's in Tennessee, and people, I think, speaking of fantasy, I know we have these conversations there. Like, what do you want to do with Tennessee? They have Brian Daboll. Is that good? I mean, I think it's probably above average, I want to say, but I don't know for sure. You were on talking about the last piece in your series, as you said, the special teams players. And so where are we on this? Size it up. Return men. And, of course, Tyler Bass is a little bit of an enigma here.
I think the biggest question is, what does Tyler Bass look like kicking? We have not seen him kick in a year. The last time we saw him kick was the final preseason week of last year, and that was even after he came back from an injury. And then he had surgery after that week, and we never saw him the rest of the year. Didn't kick. What does he look like? Then you go back to, and he says he's healthy. He says he's feeling good. They only have one kicker on the roster. They actually had a guy in the offseason. They released him, so they might, I guess, feel good about that. I'm guessing they do. But I need to see it. We did not see him. Now, that does not say that he didn't kick. We in the media did not see him kick, right, during OTAs, and that might be by design, for all I know, right? But I need to see it. And then you go back to, guys, I mean, the last time we did see him kick, 24 and 23, those two seasons, oddly enough, he had the exact same numbers of field goals, 24 out of 29 both years. It's 82%, almost 83, but lower than the league average. He not only has to be healthy, he's got to be better. And, that's number one for me with specialists. And how long of a leash is that? I mean, they brought guys in a couple years ago. He's got over $3 million cap hit this year, over $5 million next year. He's also still young for a kicker in this league. He's 27. I looked at the kickers in the league. I'm like, most guys are, still older than him, and you're kicking for a while, as you know. So he could do, this is a big swing year for him. He's on short and long-term future for him, in a Buffalo Bills uniform. We're going to have a punting competition. Now, I would say I think Tommy Doman's going to win the job because he's a draft pick. They invested in that, but I think Mitch Wishnowsky stabilized the position last year for them. It was just fine. He's a veteran, but Tommy Doman kicked in Michigan, colder weather. He has done kickoffs before. They invested a draft pick in him. They did a lot of work on punters. I think there's a guy that they're anticipating at least will be their punter. Long snapper, believe it or not, it's kind of crazy to think about. Reed Ferguson is the only player in this roster that spans 3 head coaches now. He was here for Rex, he's here for Sean, and now he's here for Joe Brady. And the last thing I talked about and wrote about is we don't know who the return man is going to be. We think, Ray Davis for kicks. I'm talking about punts. Like that to me is very open. Is that Khalil Shakir? Because Khalil Shakir is your number 2 receiver. Are you really using him for 17 games returning punts? I think there's an opening for McCole Hardman. I think that could be Keon Coleman. Jeremy brought that idea up today. I think that's a really interesting spot.
I would like to see them try Coleman there. Like because it's twofold. Like I don't think unless he demonstrates differently, I don't think at this point sitting here today he warrants being on the field ahead of the 3 guys that I would assume are ahead of him on the depth chart. Moore, Shakir, and Josh Palmer, as down as we can be on Josh Palmer. So see if you can extract some value there. Like he's a big man. He's proved, I think, to be somewhat elusive in the open field. So I don't know. That's an idea that I'd like to see at least, practiced. Like let's see how it looks. Because I understand you got to really trust that guy. That's the reason why the default setting for this team, it feels like for years, has been Shakir, because he's reliable. But I think if you're going to try Hardman, I'd just as soon try Coleman. I think I want to do that. I want to back to kicker though. Don't their actions? I mean, they of course could add a guy here between now and training camp. But the fact that they don't, you mentioned there's 2 punters and there's only 1 kicker. I want to assume they're not being negligent about it, that they believe Tyler Bass is completely 100% all the way back, right?
Agreed. I think they're operating under that from what they've seen and what they know about him, which is great. We need to see it, right? I mean, like they can feel that way, but we need to see it. And, it is a spot, though, where if things go awry early, just like last year, you can pivot to somebody who's out there, and there's generally going to be. It's not going to be ideal necessarily, but, Prater did a nice job when he came in. And, if you have to do that. But I agree with you 100%, Bulldog, which is exactly how you said it. Their actions have told us, I think, that they feel comfortable where Tyler Bass is right now.
Yeah. Okay. I got lost dreaming about a punting battle. I'm sorry. I got a little bit.
That's okay. I told you guys, I think we've had this conversation. They did a lot of work on punters. This is the guy they chose. I mean, they could have had other guys. This is the guy they liked. There's a lot to like about him. He's got a big leg. You don't necessarily need one when you have an offense that's, moving the ball down the field. You need guys who can, yes, boom it once in a while, but mostly place it where you need to place it. But I like the fact that he's punted in cold weather, and he's done kickoffs before. Like, that's something he's done. And if Tyler Bass is healthy kicking field goals, but you're like, you know what? Let's just take a little bit off him. You can do that with this kid, and that's why I like him too.
Give me Shakir on punt return. I've been saying for years, I think he holds their offense back. You don't get more out of Kincaid, who could play in the slot more often, someone more dynamic that isn't on the team because Shakir, who got his contract, is kind of taking that spot. I mean, Warren talking about how egregious the air yards thing is. He has a purpose on offense, but I mean, I don't think they're going to boot him off the offense. I wouldn't be afraid to put him in that role full time. Brandon Cooks, yes, please.
I want to say real quick about Keon and what Bulldog brought up. I know it's not always created equal because there's numbers and returns and things like that. Keon Coleman actually led the entire ACC in 2023 with punt return yards and was 3rd in the nation in punt return yards, exactly 300 that year. Like, he has done this, and he has done it well.
Brandon Cooks, 6 different teams, 6 different jersey numbers.
Ooh.
That could be a first, like guys go to new teams and they want to wear, and he has some clout as a player, as a veteran around the league, but every new team he's gone to, he's worn a different number.
Does somebody now on the Bills have 18? Because if he came back, would he then have to have another new number with the Bills?
Maybe he'd want one.
A different number than the one he had last
He went back to New Orleans. He started with New Orleans, went back to New Orleans, and according to Pro Football Reference, there's not a second New Orleans icon there,
Okay.
so maybe he went back to wearing number 10
Same jersey there
for the Saints. But
There is no 18 given out as of now.
Okay.
it's waiting for
They're
him.
saving
Kevin
it.
Tompkins is a wide receiver they signed, did not have a number yet listed on the website. Max Tomczak's a wide receiver they signed. It could be one of them. They also still haven't given out 27. I always bring that up too, by the way.
Mike Tomczak wore 18.
Ooh, that's a good point. I have to look what Max Tomczak wore during rookie minicamp, which is sometimes a lot different anyway. But that is his nephew, by the way.
Yeah. All right, Sal, thanks for fitting us in. What are the Yankees up to? They got beat last night. Detroit.
Lost 5 in a row. They've lost 5 in a row. They look
5
terrible
in a
right now.
row. Yes, Boston.
Yes. They lost 4 to Boston. I mean,
That was
the other
all right
night they're
with me.
getting a perfect game against them. They get a walk, and then it was still a no-hitter. They wind up getting a hit, and then they wind up tying it up. Then they go up 2 in the 10th inning. I'm like, all right, they got this one. That's fine. And then they let 3 runs up in the bottom.
That's
So
right.
How,
it's baseball. It's baseball. It happens
Yeah.
throughout the season.
What's the timeline on Judge at this point?
Ooh, no one knows.
Good question. I mean, it was 4 to 6 weeks when it happened. So I guess we've been about 2 to 3 weeks since then. We're probably looking at another month.
Yeah.
But I will say Trent Grisham should be back very soon. I didn't look last night. I don't know if he played or not, but I know like this week might have been the week,
Yeah.
the target week. And
They
then
were talking
Stanton
about that on the
at some
game
point.
Sunday night for sure, that he's back
Yeah.
very soon. So, yeah.
They'll get some guys back, but
No
they're
Fried.
just not playing well.
He's going to pitch a simulated game, I heard on their I watched them against the Tigers last
I
night.
don't believe that helps. I mean, simulated. I play simulated games.
I feel like it's a sign that
play
your
Stratomatic.
arm is better. I think.
I play
That's a
simulated
simulation.
games. Yes. My simulated 1994 Royals are hanging on for dear life in playoff contention. Maybe a little different. Okay. Sal, thanks for your time. We'll talk again later this week.
All right, you got it, guys.
There you
Thanks.
go. There's Sal on the Western Hotline. His appearance is brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. I mentioned the Sunday night baseball game between the Red Sox and Yankees. I mentioned yesterday how Clemens was in the booth there. I found out from, NBC employee and close friend Nick Mandola that they bring in different guys. He doesn't have a job at NBC.
He was there because it was the Yankees and the Red Sox.
The Yankees and the Red Sox. They do that. They have someone, someone famous from the team's, past that steps in there.
What happens if it's like the Brewers and the Rangers? Who do they get?
Gorman Thomas. And
Let's play this out. Gorman, I love that choice.
Gorman Thomas and Josh Hamilton.
All right.
How'd I do? I think I did all right there.
I mean, yeah, you've picked.
Gorman Thomas is alive.
I don't know. If not, you can't.
Yeah, that's a tough one there.
But
yeah,
those are good names. Those are good names. Well done. Do I have to care about Milan Lucic? I've never wanted to. Now do I have to? 803-0550. Paul Hamilton. Next hour. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. WGR.
Busy morning for the Buffalo Sabres. The team announced first a couple of hirings headlined by Milan Lucic, former Boston Bruin, being brought in as a pro scout. And then following that, it was day 2 of development camp. And we'll get more on all of this. Paul Hamilton is going to join the show in just about an hour at 5:30. In the World Cup, there was more late drama today. Norway takes down Ivory Coast 2-1. Erling Haaland with the 86th minute winner. They're going to take on Brazil in the round of 16. France going up against Sweden. That's in about a half hour at 5. And then the night will wrap up at 9. Mexico going up against Ecuador. In the NBA, Shams Charania of ESPN reporting that Toronto is acquiring Kawhi Leonard and sending the Clippers Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-rounders. And then LeBron James appears to be leaving the Lakers after 8 seasons with the club. James won the NBA championship with the Lakers back in 2020 and will now be entering free agency at the age of 41. And in baseball, Bisons, they are on the road in Minnesota versus the Saints. Game time for that one just after 8 o'clock, and it can be heard over on our sister station, the Bet 1520. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Here's a breakaway now, and the puck gets away from Lucic, and Miller gets hammered by Lucic, and Lucic is getting a penalty. Miller's down on the ice, and they ought to clean his clock.
I never cared about that like everybody else. I don't care about it today. I think it should have been reasonable for a coach to convince his team and send the message out to the public that, you know, there's more than one way to do this. And that's just not what happened. And it became a level of scandal how the Sabres did not react to that just, to me, was insufferable. It never seemed to die out. Like, you get the fake fight the next time they play them. And I don't know. I just think it all could have been avoided. I'm sure somebody, maybe you will say, it could have been avoided if just anybody had approached him on the ice at that moment. Then it's all avoided.
Yeah, Gaustad among them. Like he was there. He was on the scene, and I don't know, pretended like he didn't know who did it, or I don't know what happened there. But yeah, he's the one who goes in the stage thing. Weeks later, whenever that was, it was like the easiest bet ever. You could, like, are they going to? Yes, they're going to fight. It's going to be stupid and meaningless, but they're going to do it.
Brian Campbell's going to fight after Umberger, and somebody's going to fight Lucic.
Yeah. I don't know. It was an embarrassment on the level of what happened with Tage Thompson a couple of years ago. Just the inability to react the way hockey teams react. However much of a cliche it is, there's a reason it's a cliche. Go do it. Go do the thing. Have 3 guys jump them. I don't care. I don't care how many penalties you're going to get. What are you doing here? Your Olympian is just got run over, and he's not a defenseman or a forward. He's a goalie. So, yeah, I mean, it just that is the. That's it. Like it sort of picking at that. I don't even feel like it's a sky. It's not something I think about. But you say that name to me, with or without a connection to the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm immediately going to remember. Oh yeah, that happened. Oh man, that was embarrassing. I felt terrible about the state of my hockey team in that moment. And so him getting hired as a scout today is just sort of like, hey, remember that? Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, I don't want to be mad about it still. It was a long time ago, but it was embarrassing. And if I thought it was embarrassing then, I mean, there's nothing that's happened in the 15 years since it happened to change that. So I just...
What about blaming Lucic, though? Like, it's offensive to...
Well, yeah, that's the point. It's an all-time cheap shot is what it is.
Well, that happens in hockey not that rarely. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. We had a caller. I think this has been sort of the run of play today has been like that the Sabres have missed the bigger picture by hiring him. I can't hire a guy that was ever mean to me. Don't we think the Sabres should have had more of that over their history, not less? And this is no bearing on whether he's a good scout, whatever that even means. Like, I don't know. I just can't see it how it moves the meter, but it's a sore subject in Sabres history.
It's a sore spot, and one to me that you needlessly activated. Mm-hmm. I just don't. I said it already. Like, how many hundreds of thousands or hundreds or thousands of former players are there that would be equipped and interested in doing that job?
Why do they have to be former players even?
Right. Well, precisely. Sure. Like that's got to be the guy. I feel like we just got rid of Eric Stahl.
Are we sure?
Good question.
Wasn't he in the picture yesterday at the development camp?
I don't know.
In the box?
Really? Was he?
I think so.
I did not. I don't know. All I know is that he was turning the crank for the Hurricanes before one of the games in the final.
I don't think enough people give Eric Stahl credit for 109 points. You don't hear that. You don't hear him get mentioned very often as a part of the formula. Who knows? I just don't think the Sabres should ignore any candidate for any job because in competition in the past, they did a thing. I don't think that that's really good practice. But
I generally agree, but I just feel like this level of job is just like the most replaceable job that there possibly could be in hockey.
Yes, that and mascot.
So, it had to be him.
Fair enough.
And Rutu, who bit a Sabre during the game. He's on the list too today. Like what? And he's like so far down. Lucic is so in our heads still that like nobody even seems to care that Jarkko Rutu bit a Sabre in a game. That happened. So I don't know. Just a weird.
Wasn't that
weird day?
Was that Carolina?
No, he was. I think it was Ottawa.
Ottawa. Wasn't that bite a Sabre night though?
I don't know. I think
in Ottawa.
Not sure if it was Ottawa now. I saw the highlight today because he got hired by the Sabres, so it made the rounds. But I can't remember what uniform he was in now.
I don't know. I'm asking you, I guess.
I don't think it's vital. I'm just looking to see if I have it. Oh, yeah, it's Ottawa. Yeah, I've got the highlight. Yeah, it's Ottawa. Anyway, so, look, whatever they did with their positions there today, that includes someone appointed as the GM of the Amherst, by the way, which is a much bigger deal than Jarkko Rutu or Derek Dorsett, by the way. Also, like there's someone who, if you want to remember, like the only thing that, well, I shouldn't say it that way. The only thing you might remember about Derek Dorsett's NHL career is that Pat Coletta fed him like 45 left hands in a row in a fight in a game that I was at. So I remember Derek Dorsett for that.
Was it televised?
It was a game that was on TV. Yes. It was one of the few games I took our younger son Leo to. He never really took to the sports the way his older brother did, but we were at that game. And that happened, that fight happened, and he turned to me and said, "Does this happen all the time at these games?" And he's like, I didn't want to, my son didn't want to lie to him. No, it doesn't happen all the time. He's like, because that was pretty awesome. Like, he enjoyed the face punching, which is weird because he's not at all, a physically, he's not someone who is a fighter, but it's just so funny that was what he liked when he was a little kid. So he got hired today.
Tim Kennedy
was appointed player development. He's been around for a while, but now that's a title, so good for him.
I'm assuming the pronunciation of the top guy here is Reist, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Stacy Reist.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking
Roest.
Yeah. GM of the Amherst, director of player personnel. He's been with Tampa for a long time before he was here.
Yeah, he was brought in, and I think the vibe I got today was this was ultimately this is why he was brought here. The job wasn't available when he was brought here, but he was going to assume this job, and today he did. So, yeah. No, the what they're going to do in the next 24 hours or 72 hours or any kind of time that you want to put it is way more important than memories of Milan Lucic, bowling balling Ryan Miller out of the TD Bank North Garden. But, we get what we get.
This is more famous. This is more notorious.
Yes, for sure.
Than all the others put together, I assume.
And not for nothing, there was a domestic incident. He was arrested. The drop charges. He and his wife eventually divorced. So you got that on the ledger too. Like I don't know, man. I don't really.
That's probably what we're upset about.
I just really didn't need. Right. I did not need Milan Lucic in my news today. I guess is all I would say. Like I don't need that.
Maybe he's a mole. Maybe he's going to tell the Sabres how good players are that he thinks are actually terrible. To continue his career-long
could be
efforts to undermine the Buffalo Sabres.
He's really working for the Bruins.
Maybe he's really working for the Bruins. Oh, they like a player? Let me see if I can put in a really bad word for him. Well, I was thinking about Hellebuck. And part of that is every time with the Sabres or even the Bills, but with every time would the player want Buffalo? And we had that Elliot Friedman clip that we played earlier where he's like, even for now, or whatever he said, that was especially strange because like now would seem to be a good time for players to want to join on. Kekalainen himself said that he's heard that there is some of that around the NHL. I wonder how many guys it is or who it is he's thinking of or talking about. But I would say that there's time needs to pass for that to really change. Like you can't change that in 1 year, I think. And they didn't win. I mean, they had a great season. They had a great team that lost. It wasn't like they've changed the ultimate narrative where they're a champion. They're not a champion. So I think you have to sustain what they did for a period of time to really affect your reputation.
And if you're at the time of the year where you do that and the only things so far you've done are trade away, they did trade away both guys. I mean, Tuck was leaving, so they made the best of it. But they've divested themselves of two players who, I'm sorry, they aren't winning the Boston series without those guys' contributions. I thought Byron was their best player. Tuck might have been in second, in my view, in that series. And so, we talked about this when we kind of got to free agency, not too free, but talking about it coming. Tuck, how much does his leaving, however it goes down, affect their reputation? Because they've not been a contending level team, a team that looked like, last year's team in 20 years. And the last time they were that and they got to free agency, the co-captains left and it was never the same. And so that's a long time ago, but maybe that's where the comment from Friedman comes from. Like, I don't see a lot of what is it exactly? I don't see a lot of people waving to go to Buffalo or choosing to go to Buffalo right now. He says maybe the fact that look like they're standing still and sending away two of their most important players from this team that had 109 points and won the division out of nowhere. Maybe that's dinging them right now.
I think it's a very good conversation. I still can't believe that it does affect them negatively, like meaningfully, but because I think more it's about how for the vast majority of most players' lives they've been kind of a doormat. But I don't want to think that not retaining Alex Tuck is integral to player X's opinion out there. But who knows? I mean, there probably are some guys where it would be how they feel.
I think you could look at it that way without knowing anything about what happened in the summer of 2007. You just look at the Sabres right now and go, I don't know, that's weird. They let those two guys go.
Yep. Byram is more interesting to me for that.
Do I want the smoke of going there to try to be the guy that keeps it going?
We can talk about this some more. I always like to. Because I think I would have a pretty easy time explaining it to any free agent candidate. Like just almost to the point where, I mean, you could hear maybe a little chuckle in my voice right there. Like I think I might get caught laughing doing it. Like, no, you're not serious. You understand why we did these two things. Not that they had to do it. Well, with Tuck, they probably did.
Right. Byram, they had a choice.
Byram, they had more of a choice. 803-0550 for your calls. Paul Hamilton at 5:30. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR. We'll get back to soccer in here, but for now we're watching Serena Williams at 44 make her return to Wimbledon. She's not played a match, like a singles match in the Slam since the Open 4 years ago. She's won this tournament 7 times. She is down to her last few games or points, though, down 5-3 in the third to a woman named Maya Joint from Detroit, who moved to Australia after high school. She was favored to win today.
I was going to say, that does not look like a Detroit flag next to her name there.
What is the Detroit flag? I'll be there on Friday. I can report back. Yeah, she's up 5-3 serving in the third, but it's been really close, this match.
Kid Rock's face is a Detroit flag.
Maya Joint. Yeah. Back after sports here on WGR.
Free agency opens up in the NHL tomorrow at noon. Ahead of that, the Sabres had a busy morning. First, announcing a couple of hirings and promotions, headlined by Milan Lucic being brought in as a pro scout. And then there's also day 2 of development camp. And we'll get more on all of that. Paul Hamilton going to join the show in just about a half hour at 5:30. We do have some trade action today in the NHL. Florida acquires goaltender Jacob Markstrom and forward Angus Crookshanks. And to do that, they send New Jersey Evan Rodriguez, Jesper Boquist, and Ben Steeves. Now to the World Cup. We've got the second game of the day getting underway here. Actually, it's just going on right now. That is Sweden taking on France over in the Mets. They are at Toronto. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
All right, what's the report from outside?
I was outside for maybe 3 minutes. I counted 8 Q-tips. It's got to be one person that just throws their Q-tips out the window when they're done using them in their cars.
It's Mike Schopp.
One person?
More than one person using Q-tips and throwing them outside?
I don't think I use 8 Q-tips in a year.
I think I've never used 8 Q-tips.
And the Bulldog.
What the hell is going on out there? I don't think I want to work in a place where people like roll their windows down if they're using Q-tips for Lord knows what and just throw them on the ground.
Well, you do.
What, is it the 70s?
Oh, that's not very nice.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Driving on the highway 65 miles an hour. I get a little left in my soda from the fast food drive out the window. That was the 70s. Who gives an F about anything?
Throw a burrito out the window.
Nothing matters. 2025, what are you doing?
On WGR.
Throwing Q-tips out of your car.
Sports Radio 550.
I was going to ask Sal earlier about next year's Bills schedule, see if he had any insight.
Yeah.
But I
he would have
forgot.
He would have loved that.
You don't have anything? Do you talk to his guy ever about the schedule? Like what sort of plans they might have for next year? No, you're not. You're too busy for that.
Oh, I'm definitely not too busy. I'm also 100% uninterested. So that's really it. I have all kinds of time.
Bills go to Dallas next year.
Great.
Yes.
I'll file that away for
I'll
future
be there next week
for future consideration.
I am going to Dallas for the first time in my life next week. It's always been a thought for me because of all the Kennedy buff interest that I have.
I felt like you had half a day there or something a few years ago. No.
Dallas?
Yeah, no.
No, you and I went to Houston. I went to San Antonio for a week almost, at 2016.
Okay.
But I've never been to Dallas or Austin or Waco or any of those other Texas places.
Me either. Really. I mean, I've been west Texas through Dallas, but I wouldn't say I've been in Dallas.
That'd be cool.
I rented a car at the airport and left and went to
Am I weird? That's all I want to do is drive around Texas. I just want to drive to. I want to be on the road in Texas and just I've never done that.
Yeah.
San Antonio was like we were sequestered. Same with Houston. That Super Bowl week.
All right, well, get out on the road.
I want to be on the road in Texas.
Rent a convertible and go have at it.
Imagine that. What a dream.
It might be a little hot.
It's hot here.
It's hot here. It's going to be hotter there. I would
expect.
I don't know. It's exactly how it works. I don't know.
What about the Bills' schedule this year? The one we know this year.
It looks super duper hard. I think it's what my default setting is. Woo, those first 5 games, man. Wow, that looks hard.
Houston, Detroit, Chargers, Patriots, Rams.
Correct.
The middle 3 are home games.
Right.
I might have the whole thing now. Then Vegas, then the bye.
Correct.
Then Minnesota, then Baltimore.
Flip them.
Baltimore's 8 and Minnesota's 9?
Yep.
Miami Jets?
Flip those.
Jets, Miami, 10-11?
Mm-hmm.
Are we to Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
New England?
Correct.
Green Bay?
Yep.
Chicago, Denver, Dolphins, Jets.
Yep. Strong finish.
Yeah. Redemption. For 2 small misses. Is it something where we're still a ways out. I'm guessing people are not driving around thinking about this. But But is it something that you think about a lot or would think about a lot when you think about their season, is the difficulty of their schedule? Like, is that a big factor?
Yes. Yes, it is for me. When you alluded to this earlier when we were doing the reverse AFC power rankings during the first segment of the show, and the Bills ended up. What did the Bills end up? Third in that exercise. I
think so.
My eyes don't work from this far away. I can't tell.
Third.
Okay. Good job. Thank you. And I had suggested fifth. Right. I wanted them where you put New England and then whatever. And you made mention, like, I'm sort of, I don't know, what am I exactly? Nervous? I don't feel nervous. I just think it's a lot to assume that everything is just going to seamlessly keep going with a program that had the same guy at the top of it for 9 years. I just think that there should be natural bumps in the road there that you really haven't been encountering, whether that's in relating to the players on both sides of the ball, having everyone's respect. I mean, I'm sure McDermott didn't, all 53 guys or at the practice squad, 70 people didn't adore him or anything. I'm sure he had people in there that couldn't stand him. That's just natural. I mean, you're the head coach of a football team. You got a lot of dudes, a lot of personalities. I just think I think Brady's got a lot to get right, and the pressure, like the expectation is that you're not missing a beat. You've got a whole new defensive system coming in that I don't think you're flush with players to really play. And so you're trying to, Landon Jackson is putting on weight, and Deion Walker maybe is dropping weight or whatever. We're just fooling around with people's bodies and trying to figure out if I can fit some guys into roles that, frankly, they weren't drafted here to play. But that's where I am on the board because I can't just send the entire defense off and bring in all new guys. This is not the way the league works.
You know what you could actually describe that as? Because I can't just keep Sean McDermott and have the guys that we built with stay the size they are. Right. We can't just do that.
Right.
I don't know.
So that's a lot, I think. And so I'm just not – I still think they're going to be good. I think they deserve to be a contender. But I got a little more room for, whoa, did not see that coming because of all the change. It doesn't mean that the whole thing should be junked if it doesn't go well. But it's a lot to me. It just sort of – it puts too much, and I know I'm probably, what are people hearing this going, oh, of course, you were such a McDermott stan to begin with. Did I use that correctly? I think I did.
I have never really understood that one.
Of course, you're going to be the one that's going to be down on them because he's gone. It could have been anybody. I mean, it had to be him. But 9 years, this is just a lot. It's just a lot to button up. First-time head coach. There's just a lot happening here that I think takes for granted things that were just, easy to take for granted when you had the same guy for 9 years. So that's really it. So it's not like I'm not predicting that they only win 7 games or anything. The bottom is going to fall out of it. I think I have a little more room for considering something other than full speed ahead because of the changes. I think I would be that way about any team. Frankly, I'm that way a little bit about Baltimore. They've got a new guy there, and that guy was there twice as long as McDermott and won a Super Bowl in the process. And yes, the quarterback didn't seem to really get along with him. But what about the rest of the team, right? Like, are they going to hold it against Lamar Jackson that Harbaugh's not there anymore? If, he was really good to this guy or that guy or a bunch of guys, whatever. That's a lot, I think, to get right. And that's also a first-time head coach. So it's part of the reason why I'm so sort of bullish on Cincinnati, because I think the door might be open in that division with Baltimore with a new head coach, despite all the talent on the roster and all the stuff. So it's really just the change could have some turbulence is mostly what it is.
I'm like you, like anybody would be very curious because I think they'll probably be in the playoffs as they've been. And then there will be a moment. And can they get that right? Can they win that moment this time? Whether that's the second round, the third round, the Super Bowl itself. Like, can win them all. Like, that's what we're trying to do. Can they execute in the playoffs on a higher level, on a better level than what they've done when they've lost these games? I mean, last year's playoff loss was very much self-inflicted, even though you had controversy at the end of that game. Like there were a lot of mistakes, turnovers in that game, and that's just obviously very tough to overcome. So I think they should be, with whatever is different about them, good enough to get into that spot. And then when they're in that spot, maybe one of these guys 20 pounds heavier or lighter makes the play. Maybe somebody catches the ball. Maybe something, you know. And I don't think it's too much wishful thinking to believe that could happen. I mean, they've been so good and so close. Here's Jay with us. Hi, Jay.
Hey, Bulldog, I couldn't agree with you more. Any business that has that much change at the top always has bumps in the road. My thing is, I don't understand how they are second choice to win the Super Bowl. I can't wrap my head around that. I mean, does somebody know something that we don't know? I mean, because...
Who's we?
You know, like all us Bills fans, mainly you guys. You guys are you know the team, you know the ins and outs. There's a lot of change here. There's a lot of moving parts. But
I don't find it at all surprising that they would be the second favorite.
You think that the defense, well, let me put it this way, and this is just me asking a question. Do you think they're going to just try to throw the air out of the football and just try to outscore everybody?
No.
Because I don't see them being able to stop a lot of teams on defense with the schedule they're playing.
I don't think they'll set out to do that, but I do think one of the scenarios that I can imagine ending up being a net positive for them is that they are forced at knife point to do that because of what I'm talking about with the defense. And that maybe that is what has held them back. That they got too scared of the turnovers and became this run-heavy team and the 3 tight ends and the extra linemen and James Cook leading the league and all this stuff that's been good. I mean, they won a pile of games. But they really... I mean, isn't it almost irrefutably true that any team that employs Josh Allen as their quarterback, their fastball should be their passing game? And it has not been. And they don't have the personnel to do that. So, at least they haven't. Now DJ Moore's here. Maybe it's a good time to have to overcome a defense that is not as strong in the regular season as it mostly consistently was. I know last year was more of a down year. But mostly it's been like a strength, consistent, and if it's erratic and they have to learn how to live that way, maybe a little bit more like the Bengals, that is something that is different, and I think I might want to lean into.
Be good for fantasy.
So, that it doesn't have to work, but it could. So that piece, like, I don't think they'll want to go into the season and into the early games thinking, let's throw it 48 times today. But if they end up there, maybe that ends up being more like what they were when they broke through in 2020.
As long as their people can get open, then yes.
Well, right.
And we have not really had that yet, for the most part. I think maybe that's the DJ Moore recipe for smashing success. Here's Rick next. Hi, Rick.
Hi, how are you?
Good, man.
I'm calling about the goalie situation, but I just got to put my 2 cents in. Michael Hoyt is going to help this defense big time. Mark my word.
I hope you're right. He looked great in the 7 quarters he played. I agree.
He's going to be a wrecking machine. But anyway, Markstrom just went to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some rumors that maybe Toronto's going to put a move on Bobrovsky. My question, I want the Sabres to grab Hellebuck so bad. But if they don't, how do you guys feel about picking up Bennington or Bobrovsky? I know everybody's down on Bennington, but not me. I think he wants out of St. Louis. They want him out of St. Louis. He can bounce back. I believe he can. What do you guys think?
I don't want any part of either guy. I'm really worried about buying the Sergei Bobrovsky retirement tour. Buffalo would be a weird spot for that on top of it, but I feel like if you could lure him here, it's a check. I feel like he's accomplished so much already, and I know that's assuming a lot about the guy, how competitive somebody is. I'm scared of Bobrovsky, and Binnington to me is nuts. I wouldn't want to go through an 82-game season with him on my team. Now the weird thing is, if I'm lining up goalies who are currently available to play in a game that I got to win, if the guy's available right now, he might be my second choice after Hellebuck, honestly. But I think the deterioration in his game overall has been evident almost ever since they won. So I don't feel like it's a down year. I feel like the Cup year was an up year. He got a contract and is almost. I should look to make sure. I don't want to. I might be overstating. I just don't think there's a lot left there. I don't have any interest in either guy.
I don't know better, Rick, so that'll work for me too. Thanks for the call. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, 803-0550. Paul Hamilton coming up in 15 minutes. We didn't ask him a couple of important questions yesterday.
Yes.
His connection went away, and we just ended it early. So, Malenstein, I wrote it down.
Right, good. Let's remember to ask Paul about the guy they signed yesterday.
I would hope to know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyway. Do you follow Kirk Herbstreit?
No.
Did his rant come up on your feed today at all?
I did not see a Kirk Herbstreit rant. What, did somebody do something to his dog?
No, and I wouldn't root for that.
No, me either.
But I'm not a Kirk Herbstreit guy. You know, I turned down a job offer to work with him. Did I ever tell you that?
No, I don't think I knew that.
In Columbus.
Well, your contract is up. Maybe you should revisit that.
I'm going to regret what I'm about to say then. That's right. My contract is up in an hour. Jorge Posada said on a podcast, I can't watch today's baseball because it's just like old man in clouds, right? It's
Okay.
just like
Yeah.
none of the goodness of the strategy is there anymore.
Challenges and the what? Yeah.
If you know Kirk Herbstreit's brand at all, it would absolutely come as no surprise that he would jump in on that and agree with it. Let me just read the relatively short Herbstreit rant.
Right, this is totally
Thank
new to
you.
me.
5 exclamation points. Thanking Posada for his brave take. Where did the athletic ability go? Yeah, right.
Excuse me?
Baseball players were more athletic in the past. That makes sense. Where did the athletic ability go? Clutch hitting in the 8th and 9th inning? Starting pitching that goes 8 or 9 innings? That's always a given. That's an absolute must in any sort of rant like this is how come pitchers don't pitch like they're men anymore? Base stealing? Hell, just good base running and speed? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. Yeah, I mean, right, guys are slower now, aren't they? We know that. Sack bunts, moving runners over late in a game. Where's Tony Gwynn? He died, is the answer. Rod Carew, Wade Boggs, Ichiro. Those guys wouldn't exist in today's ridiculous home run or strikeout launch angle game. I don't agree with that. They're all Hall of Famers. They don't play for Tampa, maybe, but they would play.
Right.
The game has been dying with the youth of America for years, all caps, and now is losing the core fan base as well with this ridiculous product we've had to digest for the last 7 to 10 years. Is there proof of that? The kids part, the fan part?
I don't know. 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember the soccer line that I brought up last week where it was a former editor that I briefly worked for him, but friends of mine at the paper in Rochester worked for this guy and remember hearing about how he would say soccer is the fastest growing sport in America for the 30th year in a row.
Right.
Hasn't baseball been dying for like our whole lives?
Pretty much.
I think they're doing okay.
I think so.
Bring back small ball and athleticism. This S dreadful. Yeah, that's right. That's what kids want is bunting. I think really when you think about it, what kids want when Ichiro is up and there's a runner on second and less than 2 outs, move him up.
Get him to third.
He just wants that ground ball to second. He is ready. The 9-year-old in your life is ready to stand and applaud if Ichiro hits a ground ball to second to move that runner up to third. The nuances.
Yeah, when I first started taking my kids to baseball games, they could not wait to see a properly executed relay throw from the outfield. It was their favorite thing about going to games.
Yeah. I mean, steals are up.
Yeah, right.
We don't bunt because it's outs. I mean, this guy is a lot to take because like many of these top football announcers, they just can't even listen to analytics. They can't even listen to it. They don't need it. They know. They were there. They know. And even if it's a different sport, somebody with this rant would totally be that type who was like, not only am I right that bunting is smart, but I also know that everybody agrees with me, including all kids. Because that's the attitude. That's Aikman. Yeah. That's like, not only am I right, but I know you agree with me. I don't know. I hate this.
It's a tough time for me to say, like, I watch a game every day because the World Cup has swallowed me whole. And I've said many times, I mean, this weekend, when there were no games, I watched a lot of baseball. But that is very much the exception within the last, how long's the World Cup? 2 weeks, a month already? I don't even know. But once it's over, I'll go home, or even before I go home, I'll look on my app. All right, who's on tonight? What can I watch? And it'll be a ball game. It's all there is. So that's what I'll be watching. But that doesn't mean like I'll hate it or something. I don't know. I've said quite a few times, this is not about bunting or speed or stolen bases or whatever. Just the changes, the shift and the pitch clock. The ABS isn't even driving me crazy. Like it moves fast enough that I'm not hung up on it.
Yeah.
Like it happens, it comes and goes. I think it's kind of stupid, but whatever. There's not a holdup, you know? I mean, what does it take? 15 seconds?
Right.
Like, fine. So the game just moves along. Still, the most consistent thing that happens to me with baseball since all of these changes that I'm referring to is that I think to go look for a game that started after we got off the air and it's over already. Because I'm used to that game being on until 10 o'clock at night, and now it's over at 9:30 pretty regularly, if not earlier, because the game moves so fast, and they also
games are too short for you.
And plenty. I love it though. I mean, I just haven't adjusted yet to that part of it. There's even teams that are starting the night games at 6:30, 6:35, whatever.
Yeah.
like I'm totally here for that.
Often, yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Mine is having too many channels to know where to look. Like I know I don't mean that as a brag, but just like, all right, I want to watch the Red Sox tonight.
I've got
like 6 options. I got to find it.
Right.
It's just a guessing game where the game is going to be.
Did I tell you a couple? When was F1 in Barcelona? Maybe 2 weeks ago. Sunday morning, I'm the only one up. Get the coffee on. Like I'm on Twitter. There's an F1 race starting. It's in Barcelona. My brain. I've been to Barcelona. I want to watch this race, see if I recognize anything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. But
you did get a speeding ticket.
But it did. Right. That's right.
His race cars.
And
probably the same road.
First, it's the Fubo app. Oh, no, don't see it here. All right. I checked ESPN, even though that would have been on Fubo if it were there. No. Okay. Peacock? No. Prime? I don't know. Finally, I had to Google who's carrying F1. Apple.
Yeah, Apple.
Apple's got it. Okay. It looks great. Everything Apple puts on TV, sports-wise, it's the best picture you're, I think, ever going to see, at least for me in my experience. But it took me literally like 10 minutes of app to app to app, and I finally gave up before I looked at Apple and asked my iPad, where's the F1 race? That happens with baseball because there's different Prime and Apple and Peacock and whatever.
Whenever I was watching Skubal pitch, maybe last week against the Yankees, I think the answer was Prime. But there was a search.
Yes, right.
I got there before it was over, at least. That's
a bigger problem than what Herb Street's complaining about it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think so.
Finding the game.
Where is the game?
Right.
And is it over already?
Right.
Is it too short? Imagine now complaining that baseball games are too short. Paul Hamilton after sports. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Summer often means your driveway becomes more than just a place to park the car. It's the backdrop
Busy morning for the Buffalo Sabres. They had day 2 of development camp. We'll get more on that coming up next. Paul Hamilton joining the show. And the Sabres also announced a number of hirings and promotions, headlined by Milan Lucic. He's being brought in as a pro scout. And then tomorrow, we'll begin free agency. That'll open up at noon again tomorrow. We did have a goalie trade today. Florida acquiring Jacob Markstrom and forward Angus Crookshanks. And to do so, they send New Jersey Evan Rodriguez, Jesper Boquist, and Ben Steeves. Now to the World Cup. Norway took down Ivory Coast earlier today 2-1. Erling Haaland with the 86-minute winner. Over to our second game. France takes on Sweden. That game is scoreless, just past the half-hour mark. And then at 9 o'clock, Mexico, they go up against Ecuador. In the NBA, some pretty big news. Shams Charania of ESPN reporting Toronto is acquiring Kawhi Leonard. And to do so, they're sending the Clippers Brendan Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, a pick swap, and 2 second-rounders. And then LeBron James appears to be leaving the Lakers and hitting free agency at the age of 41. While in baseball, the Bisons, they're in Minnesota versus the Saints. Game time for that one just after 8 o'clock, and it can be heard on our sister station, the Bet 1520. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Paul Hamilton.
Oh, Cervatic and Hamilton go to each other, and Sawinski. But they do it.
We have to fight.
With Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Snodcheck was just totaled by an Iowa State player against the board.
I think it was by Hamilton.
On WGR.
Really a pretty unnecessary hit by Hamilton. But Hamilton is still awfully mad. He's being held back.
Number 17, Paul Hamilton. 2 minutes for charging, 5 minutes for fighting, and a misconduct.
Sports Radio 550.
Do we start with Malenstein so we don't forget?
Yes.
Like yesterday? Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline. We ran out of time with you abruptly, as it happens, and then realized live on the air we never asked you about the Sabres signing a veteran forward to a 6-year contract. Let's remedy that. So how about that, Paul? 6 years seems like a lot for a guy of his stature.
No, I didn't think so. He brings a lot to the table for them, and it's not really scoring. I mean, he can chip in now and then. It seems like the goals he scores are like highlight real goals, but there's just not very many of them. He had 7 last year, which is a career high. But he's a premier penalty killer in the league. The shots that he blocks while killing penalties, he's just so good at it. I remember one game last year, he blocked a shot. He got hurt. He was crawling on his belly over to the bench, and on the way crawling over, he looked up and saw he could block another shot. So laying down, he tried to block another shot before he finished crawling over to the bench. That's just the type of guy you have. He's probably their best forechecker because he gets in so quickly, and he's got speed to get in on the forecheck and get a forecheck going, and that creates offense at least for the team. And he's around the net with chaos and everything. So it's about where I thought he would fall in as far as the signing goes. And, I think he is a key part of the bottom, 6 of their team.
Yeah, there is comfort in having someone you can count on there. And, the salary is about – I mean, if they'd signed him for 3 years and $3 million a year, I don't think anyone would be saying anything. About like, wow, I didn't see that coming. But the 6 years caught me off guard. If you were forecasting it, good for you. I mean, that was some foresight that I just didn't have. I just didn't feel like you'd have to do that. But I would assume that means that they wanted to do it because of all the things you just said, right? The character.
I'm not saying, Bulldog, that I thought he was going to get 6 years. I'm just saying I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
I can see why he did.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing he does, too, and he did it in Washington, coaches aren't afraid to put him out against the team's other best line. You sometimes see him out there against the better players on the other team, and they're not afraid for him to go out and do that. But, no, I was surprised it was 6 years, but I don't really believe it's a big deal.
Yeah, it also accomplishes, for whatever this is worth, I think it probably internally – sends the message that Jarmo Kekalainen wants to send to his team, that, like, you don't have to score 20 goals to matter. to our team. Like, here's a guy that all his teammates would know how hard he works and the price he pays doing all the dirty things that he does. And to have him get rewarded with a comfort, guys that play that role he plays are often year to year. And so for him and his family to have 6 years of, I'm here, or at least, I don't know what sort of, if there's any no move stuff in there or anything, but still, he's got a level of comfort, pay-wise at least, if it's not always going to be the same place, knowing that, the rest of his hockey career is pretty much set at 29.
Yeah, I don't have a computer in front of me. I believe later in the contract, he has, I think it's 17 no move.
I think that's right.
But it's not like a complete no movement.
Not
or
like he'd be
anything like
locked
that.
in. Right. Okay.
Right.
Well, what about the rest, Paul? Like, how are you feeling? I've gotten, talking to you ahead of the draft and then yesterday afterward, I'm getting the feeling that, you're sort of waiting to see, okay, how are you going to go about improving your team here? You've lost 2 important players. I think you've reasonably replaced one of them already in Zellweger for Byram. Certainly not as famous or accomplished a player, but I think style-wise he fits what the strong suits of his game are purported to be. Like, I can buy him as a top 4 candidate to replace Byram. We don't have a Tuck replacement, and I wonder if they think that's all internal. I don't know. I'm going a long way here, saying a lot of words. How do you think they're going to go about improving this team, Paul?
Yeah, I think they're okay on defense right now. I'm actually a little different than you. I would say Crevier is the guy in the top 4 since he played some top 4 with Chicago. Zellweger, he's got a little ways to go in his defense. As far as that, there is a good upside. I think it's a good trade. I don't mind the trade because of the upside potential. And the other thing is, how Lindy Ruff likes lefties playing with righties? And if you put Zellweger with power, you're back to 2 lefties playing together and 2 righties on the third pair that won't play together. And then Lindy has to, because he won't play them together. So then when they get ice time, they'll get ice time with either Power or Darlene or something like that. So I
something
think
to watch.
Pretty much set with the date is what it is, but I would say Crevier probably has more of a chance on the top 4 than Zellweger, just to start with at least.
What about up top then? What's the plan in your mind? Is there going to be a signing? What do you think?
That's where I think they have to, spend their money. Signing, I don't know, maybe Pat Kane. I mean, he was a $3 million player last year. I suppose if you could get him for $3 million, that's a good thing because he definitely would help your power play. Other than that, there's really not anything that I think is going to make them drastically better to replace Alex Tuck. I think that has to come by a trade, and it has to be one of the bigger names that are out there by a trade. Again, maybe a 38-year-old Zuccarello is still producing not quite a point a game, but is producing maybe. That would be an idea, possibly in free agency, but because it seems like he's going to go to free agency. But, yeah, I think it has to be Larkin or Robertson or somebody like that, or somebody that maybe we're not thinking of, or somebody that we don't know is on the trade market right now. Free agency in the NHL is, I don't know, it's basically dead. I mean, because of the long-term contracts coming to younger players, locking players up for longer and longer. It's unrestricted free agency has kind of gone down the tubes because of that.
Patrick Kane, season before last with Detroit, 12 power play goals, 17 power play assists. Last season, in only 5 fewer games, 2 power play goals, 17 assists. So the same assists, but the power play goals themselves were way down for Kane last year. You can tell, like, I'm ready. I've been thinking about him. Just wondering, is that a move that they would make? I mean, I don't know. I really worry about foot speed, Paul. Like, this team likes to play fast. Everyone in the league likes to play fast. And it's one of the reasons I wasn't crazy about any kind of Trocheck idea. And Kane, to me, yes, I think it should give you some juice on the power play, but I just wonder about 5-on-5 whether it's going the wrong way speed-wise.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I don't know how crazy I am about it. I was just trying to
just find a name, right?
Right. Yeah, threw a few unrestricted names out there that are possibilities. I honestly, there's really nobody in unrestricted free agency that thrills me at all. It's, as far as I'm concerned, if they're going to get better, it's going to have to be by trade.
Paul, one quick question about this morning at development camp. You mentioned this yesterday, but by your Twitter, it looks like this Morozov, the 20th overall pick, caught your eye again because of his size. I read today from an older tweet, he was the literal youngest player in the NCAA this year for Miami of Ohio. So when you say and he's only 17, like, that's right. I mean, he was the youngest player in college hockey.
And the point remains, he's either youngest or second youngest. I've seen both. So, but your point remains the same. Still playing against guys, because for people that don't know, there are very few true freshmen in college hockey. Many go to the United States Hockey League and play for a couple of years. So that means this 17-year-old is playing against guys, some guys that are 21, 22, in a few cases maybe 23. So he's playing against guys who are 4 to 6 years older than him. But one of the reasons, we talked about it, and I showed the video that I took, you can see, how big he is, how filled out he is in the shoulders. He doesn't look like like Murtka looks like a gangly teenager. He hasn't, gotten that strength and the muscles, and he's tall. But he has to put on the muscle weight that I'm sure that he will. Rozov has already done that. I mean, they talked about, I think it was Kekalainen on draft day, how they basically had to kick him out of the gym and kick him onto the rink. He doesn't leave until they kick him out. So he's always working out and always doing those types of things. And when you look at him, there's evidence that he's always working out.
You can believe it. Right. All right, Paul, nice to talk to you again. We'll have free agency to dig into tomorrow for whatever that's worth. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Sounds good. Take care.
It's our Paul Hamilton on the Worcester Hotline. His appearances are always brought to you by Raylax Honda. Raylax, we got this.
Greg Bal at 6?
Oh, yeah.
Are you working things out with him to get him in here? With all the security barriers and obstacles?
It hasn't been broached.
But that is the plan, though. He's coming in?
I believe he said he was going to come in, yeah.
2-time author.
That's right.
He used to work on this show.
His second book is coming out tomorrow. I think tomorrow is the release day, I think. Whatever. He's got stop him if you see him. He's got him. He's got the books already.
Maybe he'll just give you one. So that's coming up in about 20 minutes. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. This is WGR. I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a second. Tonight, ADP Chasing returns after its usual week-long hiatus. It's only on Tuesdays. So it's not returning from anything. It's just on. Myself, Davis Maddock, Pat Corain, Jacob Sanderson.
You didn't miss last week.
Fantasy football. I did not.
It was on as scheduled.
Yes.
Okay.
It was on as scheduled.
All right.
Everybody was there.
Wow.
Jacob just went to the Galapagos Islands and was connected with us, but there was a delay and we couldn't have him.
Oh.
What a trip, though. West of Peru.
Thank you. I was going to ask, how bad of a job is it if I don't know exactly where the Galapagos Islands are?
I don't think it's that bad.
I don't want to ever say that again. That was a real struggle for me.
Okay.
If for example, that were the name of the Sabres goaltender, I would learn how to say it.
Galapagos.
On the radio or on TV, unlike the people who work at ESPN. But I think I can probably omit that from my vocabulary without
You're not too
much
worried
effort.
about there
No.
being a Rick Galapagos coming down the pike here for you.
Never know.
Never know.
But, yeah, I'm not betting on it right now.
We're talking stacks tonight.
That's my favorite kind of pancake conversation. It's about pancakes, right?
No.
Half stack, full stack.
It's one of my favorite topics in fantasy, though. So I was kind of going with you there. This is my favorite. It's mine, too. I love stacks. Favorite stack, least favorite. Get ready for some Jets talk.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets are cheap.
The Jets.
I love drafting the Jets.
What about some Titan stacks?
We just did. We're in the middle of one.
Hot shot receiver now to go with the quarterback. Come on, let's go.
We don't have Tate on this Cam Ward team, but we want Ridley.
Interesting tactics.
And then one of the tight ends, just like Gunnar Helm. Somebody like that. Throw a Tajay Spears in there or a Singleton. There's a lot of not household names, the Titans.
No, right.
Right now. But
yeah,
Ridley.
As exemplified by Gunnar Helm.
Gunnar Helm. Yep. I love me some Gunnar Helm. And Singleton is a rookie running back who may or may not have a path. I mean, Pollard is still there and Spears is still there. But if you like the idea of Tennessee taking it'd be a pretty big jump on offense this year with Brian Daboll in charge, then that's a very attainable fantasy stack because they're all late. Just Tate is the only one that isn't. Tate is your guy, right? He's your guy. Carnell Tate.
No, I wouldn't say he's my guy. The quarterback is my guy. I like Cam Ward a lot.
Carnell Tate, wide receiver 31. Early 7th for him. That's not early.
Wait that long at your own peril.
I know. We picked Marvin Harrison over him.
That's what I'm saying.
It is what you're saying. Greg Bal is here, and we'll talk to him about his new book, Unbelievable. I don't think that's how it's pronounced. I think it's pronounced Unbelievable. Far from me to try to do Greg, but he'll be on after this here on WGR.
Free agency begins tomorrow in the NHL at noon. Before that, the Sabres did make a couple of hirings and promotions that is headlined by Milan Lucic being brought in as a pro scout. Then there was also day 2 of development camp earlier this afternoon. For more on all of that, Paul Hamilton does have pieces at our website, WGR550.com. To the World Cup, the usual suspects continue to score. Earlier today, Norway takes down Ivory Coast 2-1. It's Erling Haaland that gets the 86-minute winner for Norway. They're going to take on Brazil in the round of 16. While for France, they're up 1-0 on Sweden at the half, and it's Kylian Mbappe that gives them the lead. And our last game of the night, it'll be at 9 o'clock. Mexico goes up against Ecuador. To the NBA, some pretty big news today for Toronto. Shams Charania reports the Raptors are acquiring Kawhi Leonard and sending the Clippers Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-rounders. And then LeBron James looks to be leaving the Lakers after 8 seasons with the team and hitting free agency at the ripe age of 41. While in baseball, Bisons, they're Minnesota versus the Saints. Game time just after 8 o'clock, and that one can be heard on our sister station, the Bet 1520. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp.
You might be mocking me or you might be staunchly agreeing with me. I can't tell.
I'm mocking you. And the Bulldog.
What is Fozzie Bear's role in this production?
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Joining us now is author and former colleague Greg Bal in studio. You can watch our show now. It's one thing that's different from when Greg worked here, and there's proof that he's actually sitting here between Bulldog and me. I'm sure we'll get you on camera if we haven't already done so.
Is Twitch the thing that people like play video games on and you watch?
Switch.
Twitch. The Twitch. Yeah.
What is this? Switch or Twitch?
Twitch.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell Switch is.
I'm not allowed on Switch.
I think of it as YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
YouTube.
There it is. Wow, look at us.
Oh, okay.
There you are.
This is very meta.
Yeah.
There's a delay though.
Yeah, there is.
So I could be dead right now. Like it could happen, but you won't know.
For another 7 seconds?
Yeah.
I'll know because I'm going to be the one
to kill me.
Kills you.
There are so
that's what the one-eyed woman
We're going to have
told
to
me.
make sure to talk about this book.
And
because
note to self, don't swear.
There are so
Greg and I
many
in a room together swearing at one another.
There are so many references that come to my mind whenever I'm around you. Like you're saying that about you could be dead right now. It reminds me of, is tonight the night we get a baseball game that never ends?
Yes. That's not a bad segue to the book.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going on here?
I'm holding up the book.
Oh, okay, good for the Switch. I wrote a book 12 years ago, and I just kind of rushed into it. I always wanted to write, and it just kind of consumed me, and I always wanted to do it. And my plan was to just write. I was like, hey, what's better than AM radio? I know, a pen and paper. So
hey, watch it.
My next move is a blacksmith.
Switch.
Yes.
Right. Start putting shoes on horses.
Right.
Good plan,
yeah.
Greg.
Well, yeah, horses are. The New York City, the union won't let you take horses away. I have been writing a bunch of stuff, and this I wrote the first 3 pages of this book, Unbelievable, right there in the control room while I was supposed to be answering phones. And I just popped in my head. I wrote them down. And, things just got in the way. Other stuff came up. I was always doing something stupid. Then about, a year and a half, that story kind of came back itching at me. And it just flowed out of me. Like I sat down one day and I was like, I remember that. I'll try that. And that's kind of how it is for me. I have pages. I have 50 Word documents. And then I'll open something up. And if it hits me, it hits me. And this thing hit me. So.
Do you remember how the idea, what was happening in here that led to your thinking of what started this?
So, yeah, and if you will allow, I'll tell you, the Unbelievable is the story.
It's going to be about me.
Is the story of 2 failed talk show hosts who just ruined this one man's life. No. Scratch that, Switch. Unbelievable.
That's totally believable.
But this
terrible title.
But this one's unbelievable.
You left and I made you come back once.
Yes.
I mean, that happened.
Yes.
I didn't want that.
The sequel is believable. That's right. Oh, God. God. When's our out? 22?
22.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I can coast for a little
Settle
while.
in.
17 minutes of this crap.
Take your time.
Where's match game? We've got time. Unbelievable is the story of a perfect basketball game played. There's a lot more involved in it, just that. It was played in 1972 in Moscow, Idaho, during a snowstorm. So if you're used to me being a complete idiot that just spews nonsense, that writes 6-page bachelor recaps and a book about a guy who can't stop drinking, this is going to be a little bit of departure.
Again about me.
This is all. I did look great, actually, when I said that.
Tough love.
A
Greg.
departure is so good.
It's going to be a bit of a departure from that because this is just a story, and there's not a single swear word in the entire book. Like, it really, I tried to tell a story, and that took a lot of work, a lot of versions. For some reason, the 3 pages that I wrote are almost untouched. That just kind of stuck with me. And to answer your question, Mike, the Greg Buck character kind of plays. There's an announcer in this that makes that game come to life. It would have not been a thing if not for the announcer in the story, whose name is not Greg Buck in the book. His name is Bob Bolt, but he kind of is the crux of the perfect game.
There's a picture of the box score from this game on the back of the book. Yeah. And it's not giving too much away.
No, that wouldn't have put it on
resort
the cover,
to that.
So yes, yeah.
Somebody scores 100 points and doesn't miss.
100 points without missing a shot. There's other stats beyond that kind of make it, quote unquote, unbelievable. You said that word 3 times in the first hour. I was just listening, and you're gonna hate that word pretty soon because you're just gonna notice. I hear that word all the time. I say it, and I was like, oh God, I'm just always selling. I can't stand it. But
well, whenever I hear that word on a broadcast, however, it usually rankles me.
Yeah.
Because almost never is the thing actually not believable.
Yes.
When an announcer says, somebody makes a 30-foot shot, I could believe that was done.
That's a big reason why it's called that.
That box score does seem hard to believe.
It's a little hard to believe, but so
this is wait.
Go ahead.
This is a real game?
No, this is all fiction.
Okay, so the box. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
And the reason for
just making sure. I thought you
Nope.
For a second, someone in our audience, being an idiot like I am, might have thought you based all this around this actual game and made up the rest.
That's going to be a big lift for me, is to make people aware of the fact that this is a nonfiction, or this is a fiction book. Yeah. It doesn't help that nonfiction means not true. It's just a made up story.
Gotcha.
Kind of like we all love sports. We've kicked a lot of people out of a lot of halls of fame.
Did we ever?
And part of the thing that brought this about was, as a little kid, you learn about sports. You start to get into sports a little bit. So the big names. Your Wayne Gretzky's and your Babe Ruths. I remember learning about Babe Ruth, and he was the best baseball player of all time. Then I started playing baseball, and I figured out, if you don't strike out, it's not, you don't get a hit. Percentages came up. And then I read that Babe Ruth, around the time I was 8 or so, I read that Babe Ruth's batting average was 300. And I was like, what is this crap? I thought he was the best baseball player of all time.
Should have been 500.
Yeah, no, 1,000. I heard there was that phrase, if you knock something over, you're batting 1,000 there. I thought batting 1,000 was possible, and that just kind of stuck in my craw. And all of these games played through all the years and all of these sports, was there ever a perfect game played? That's why I created this one with some stories around it.
You have an event tomorrow where you're introducing yourself
to
your fans and readers.
Yeah, tell me about what is this event going to be like? What can people attending look forward to?
It's the U.S. playing a soccer game against Bosnia-Herzegovina. It's at Fatty Wulzer, 908 Niagara Falls Boulevard in the Wulzer building. It's
Fun spot.
It's near my house. It's my bar. I have a mug there. There's going to be other events. This is the kickoff event, but Teresa's my friend. She runs the place. It seemed like a great place to do it. They have sports there, so when it's only my parents, there'll be a game going on. It will not be a complete failure. That kind of deal. I am expecting some people there, but
you can sit outside.
Yes, yeah. There's a nice patio. It's a great location. There's Platters ice cream there, so it's got a lot going in the location. But it basically is just a wide open space. I have a table set up. I'm going to be selling and signing books, and I can't wait to talk to people about it and stuff like that.
It starts at 6 o'clock. Are you going to be reading from this book?
So that might be a problem because it is just a public bar. This isn't a closed event. It's there.
Right.
I would be happy to do that. I will tell you this. If you like stories but don't like reading, I have completed the audio version of it. The Greg Buck voice, there was a question to me. I'm sorry I'm manipulating your question, but there's a question to me on whether or not to use the Greg Buck voice, and because people that are listening to it, it's kind of jarring. Mike did it earlier, so it's like a long fly ball. Like so, like
Could
that's
not
the voice
listen
I use.
An audiobook that would be challenging. I
It's
think.
there. It's like I did some research on it because I do not listen to books.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to read. Like, how do you do it? You just read it like a robot or whatever. There's like split down the middle on people who listen to audiobooks. As half of them hate when you do voices, half of them like when you do voices. I just decided to do. That's
right.
really the only character, but I change my voice and tone for different characters and stuff like that. So.
I meant the whole book being read in that voice
that
would be
a lot.
intolerable.
It's my voice that you're
would be
hearing
very
right
hard.
now.
All right, I mostly wanted to know if you're going to read, like, is it going to be before I get there? Because I'd like to miss it if I could.
Good. I will. I'll just go in the bathroom with the book and read it alone. That's where I do all my reading anyway. So yeah.
So I'm back here in 2008.
Yes.
Greg Bauk, all of it's happening. All kinds of nostalgia that I feel when it comes to you and see you here. And that character, is that the right word for it, I think?
Oh, sure.
Greg Buck, yeah.
Greg Buck, that character still travels, I think. I mean, I don't know how much new material you do, but every once in a while at my house, we do a YouTube search for that character's name, and that is a rabbit hole. It's a couple hours.
A chance to plug gregbauk.com. That's like where you can get the book, but like I have a YouTube page where I've thrown up like maybe 50 Greg Buck things that are there. I kind of had to set them to some kind of video, which was fun and sometimes.
Do you have a favorite?
I mean, like there's a 15-minute segment of radio that I did with you guys, and it's on the site there, and I list it on there as my favorite. It's we were kicking people out of the Hall of Fame, and there's a moment where Hockey Hall of Fame, and boy, I wasn't prepared for this. There's a guy dies because he is in an inner tube that floats out into the water, and no one is able to get him. He just dies on the water, and they have a charity hockey game for him, and you kicked him out because only like 11,000 people showed up for that charity thing. Like that was your reason.
That's real.
That day. That's real. That really happened. You kicked him out, and when I kicked my guy out, I always had a clip. Like so, every day I'd get to the site and figure out how to kick out, but I couldn't just kick anyone out. I had to have a clip. So I kicked out Jack Dara, who was a pacifist. Who there was a big scrum on the ice where all these guys are fighting, and Jack Dara wins the fight by refusing to eat, because he's a pacifist, so he wins the fight by like a hunger strike, and like that, and like, but the whole segment is just him not being able to talk because he's mad at you and just mad at me for being so stupid, and it's that I love that segment of radio so much.
GregBauch.com, BAUCH.
Yes, it's the German word for stomach.
I don't know if I ever told you that.
It is.
It is.
My Canadian friend John Gale and I went on a road trip to go see Owen play hockey in Indiana or something, and
as he was wont to do
on the overnight after the Saturday game, there was a Sunday morning game. After the Saturday night game, went out for drinks and dinner and whatever, and we're trying to go to sleep, and I don't know how it came up, but I ended up at GregBauch.com, and the two of us, grown, John might have been 68 at the time, and I'm 57. Twin beds side by side in a seedy motel room somewhere in rural Indiana.
Something out of Fargo.
And I started. I don't remember what the trigger was, but we got there, and I'm telling you, he was crying. He had never. I don't know that. Yeah, you were here when I first met him.
I know John. I love John. Yes.
But we just had the best time. I'm just trying to encourage people. I was go there, buy the book. Listen to that stuff if you've never listened to it, or even if you have but haven't listened to it in a long time. It's so good.
I love that. I am very proud of them. Nothing has gotten me more free beer in my life than, for some reason, it's huge with bartenders, than Greg Buck. You're all set. I mean, doesn't happen all the time. Once a year, I'll get a free beer from Greg Buck.
Name works, all of it.
I claim that on my taxes. But.
Did it start with Cocoa Crisp?
That was a good one. That was Carolyn's idea.
That's right. My wife, we were Cleveland baseball fans at the time, and they had an outfielder.
They're the Bisons.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they had an outfielder named Cocoa Crisp. That's a crowd pleaser.
Oh yeah.
And then suddenly we had a baseball game. Your creation was the Yankees.
The Yankees versus Cereal All-Stars.
Against the Cereal All-Stars. I feel like that's the beginning. I'm not sure if it's the very first, but maybe.
No, the first one is on the website, and that's me and Jeremy White making fun of how many commercials are in a
Okay,
Bulldog
that
so Jeremy
counts.
White is my color guy. Greg Buck, the one and only time Greg Buck has had a color guy was Jeremy White.
But you're not all the way there on the voice on that. It's more,
it's
more of a
funny.
southern twang,
It's funny,
I think, if I remember.
And if you want to go like for the deep cut GR fans, there's actually a 13-second clip that was longer than that. It's really not the Greg Buck fan, but it's more of a Yankee. It's more of a who's the Yankee broadcaster? I can't remember.
John Sterling?
No. Like early
Mel Allen?
Whatever. It's like him. That style is like foul ball hit to the first base line. Oh, it hit a Yankee fan. Good. Like I did that in that voice just to like.
Well,
Yankee fans.
I can still hear that you and Jer thing. He puts a voice on too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And
he does like a
it's-
southern
it's-
thing.
Oh, that's the one that's more of the southern. Yeah, that's right.
It's Jeremy saying auto detailing 50 times
Oh,
that
yeah.
kills me in that clip.
Brought to you by Mary's Lemonade for a relaxing treat. Like it just like.
Also, I mean, art imitating life. That is how every game sounds for real.
We didn't have the games, and like I remember our beloved GM, who is no longer with GR after today, Tim Wenger, loved that bit because it was me making fun of Bills games.
Yes.
Because when I was just trying to listen to it, and like it was, you love Murph, but it was like everything was a commercial. It's not his fault, of course, but
But it's worse than ever.
Yes.
And the Bills are just one of many teams who sound every sport.
Everything is like the hydration breaks. Come on.
Everything is sponsored.
Right. Yeah, I'm hydrated. Thank you.
There's a new, it seems to be like a fad right now, sites and apps and games where, like, for instance, you have hockey. It's called hockey82-0.com, where you can pick players somewhat at random and try to build a super team that can go 82-0. So recently, I wasn't sure of the exact website name and just typed in 82-0, and what comes up? Slovakia and Bulgaria.
Oh yeah, 82-0. I never thought of that.
82-0 was the score of this women's game, and that is another all-timer from you. And
speaking of sponsor reads,
right. Reardon, Ryerson, Smithson, and Smythe.
For free legal advice, call 1-800-555-LAWW or something.
Yes,
like that.
and it's like, is it 3-0 or 4-0? And I do this. I quote you in many circumstances exactly the way you said it. The goals are coming, and you're in the read, and then there's the horn. It's perfect, and you hear the horn again. You stop your read. You hear the horn again, and Greg goes, "Okay," and I love that. Okay, I use that. Okay all the time.
Good.
Like, okay, it's going to be one of those here.
Another one.
82 where is Bulgaria?
There's a version of that call. I made 3 versions of that call. There's a version of that call that only played once that I don't think it's on the site, and no one knows about it. The game was 82-0. You know that at the time listening to this, but it cuts in from a commercial break. So you have Greg Buck coming in. It's like, we're back from the break here, and they're reviewing it again. And like, he's taking all this time to describe the puck might have been behind the goalie, and there it is. Yes, it's not a goal. Bulgaria stops that one. So that is not a goal. Slovakia is going to, they did not score there. And then it's just like 3 seconds later, another 43-0. So like that's they took like 5 minutes to review a goal on a 43-0 game.
Let's hope that didn't really happen.
It could have.
As offensive as so much replay is.
They did it during the hydration break.
I mean, go on all day. The field goal on the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Jets and Dolphins.
Yeah.
Field goal on the moon.
Penner.
Gives
Gives it a
and it's blocked. It's floating.
Should we just
floating?
Should we just bring up GregBalk.com and play?
I'm sorry.
No, I love it. That's fine. Yeah.
What did you want to talk about?
I have nothing to talk about. Oh, nothing's really going on, guys. I'm just hanging out here. So yes.
Well, will you write another book?
I'm already writing the next one, and I'm supposed to be.
Did you start this one before you were born?
Yes, I did. No, this one started after I had a good idea for one, but it's going to be hard to write. So I'm like, this book that I just wrote, like, I wanted to get it right because I think the next one has a chance to be like really good. Like the idea I have is kind of science fiction-y, which is going to be incredibly hard to do. But so like this is what I want to do. I just want to write books that no one reads and watch Pelicans and just
Pelicans.
Yes, retire in Florida.
The basketball team or the
not
birds?
the
You're talking about birds.
Yes.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Is that still a team?
Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're in Vancouver.
He'll look at Zach for confirmation. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think it's Grizzlies to New Orleans, isn't that?
Memphis.
Yeah. No. I have the bug. I wrote a. I'm sorry. I'm plugging another book that's not this book. I wrote a book before this one. It was an autobiography. It was about being the youngest of 7 kids. And, I'm very proud of it. It's just not ready. I tried to sell it. It needs to be done. I submitted a short section to a contest and won. I know there's something there for it, but I have to, polish it out.
There were times, and I know Bulldog would say the very same thing, bent over in laughter because of you working here. One time at the convention center at the auto show with Nathan Gerby sitting around where a pun got started about grocery stores, dogs and grocery stores. Wegmans.
Yes.
And then suddenly, and you're not with us, you're here, and suddenly the screen is just bombarded with more and more and more grocery store dog ideas.
Right.
And I have to look away. I just can't, as funny as this is, I just have to look away sometimes.
All right, so the event tomorrow, again, where are we going?
Fatty's Wurlitzer, 908 Niagara Falls Boulevard from 6 to 8 tomorrow, which is July 1st, in case you're listening to this on the Vault. You missed it. The book is always available at gregbauk.com. It's available now. Right. Audio version coming there soon. I'll have other events. Go to gregbauk.com. So if you got a version and want to talk to me about it, I'd want to talk to anyone about it, but you can contact me or whatever through gregbauk.com if you have questions.
I want to listen to it.
Yeah. Well, I hope
That's
so.
interesting to me. I told you this last week. Matt Collar narrated his own book.
It's super
he talked
interesting.
about how hard it was.
It is. It's really cool. I
adds,
know you're up against the clock.
It adds something when it's the author reading it. For Jim Bouton, the author reads it. It adds something.
I just meant from my perspective, it's really you would do things differently. It's just really a crazy process. I'd love to talk about it more, but.
Good luck, Greg. Great having you back.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Sorry about everything.
Sorry about everything. The book is called Unbelievable, and you can meet Greg and acquire a copy tomorrow at Fatty Beer in the Wurlitzer building.
Thank you to No Frills Publishing.
No Frills Publishing. We talked to Sal earlier about other subjects, and we'll prove that to you after this time out here on WGR.